Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to NS Sports TV. Tonight, it's going to be a review for Middlesbrough 0, Chelsea 2, and we are going to Wembley. After all of the bullshit we've been getting from the Middlesbrough lot, their manager, their chairman, I don't mind them as a club. But I'm so happy we knocked them out after that bullshit we've been getting. Today, I've been joined by a few familiar faces from another channel I'm always on, Worldwide Chelsea. Big up to all of you. So yeah, and starting it off, we have Mr. Worldwide Chelsea himself. How are you doing?
Thank you, Nippin, for having me on. I hope you're good, my friend.
And we'll just bring the rest of the panel in. How are we doing?
What are you not saying?
Fred, Adnan.
All good, all good.
Nippin. All good, Nippin. Thanks for having me on once again.
Oh, as always. Right. Yeah, let's get through. So yeah, first things first, what are your thoughts on the game?
Absolutely amazing. One of the best games that I've watched in my life. Timo Werner was amazing. And no, it was a good game, Nippin. It was a very good game. 2-0. We proved the haters wrong again.
We always do. We always do better as the underdogs.
The whole world was against us, but we stood together. The fans were together. Me, Nippin, Matt, Alfredo, Adnan, all good. But listen, Nippin, I want to speak for the comments as well. It's an absolute pleasure to see you in your office. Very well presented, very professional, very amazing, and you look good.
No,
yes, well said.
You will always find me in. You might find me in public transport, moving about in Sadiq's stream, in any other stream, in Sarcasm City, in any other channels. But one thing you will never see me is if I'm in host mode, you will never see me walking about.
Why? Why is that?
Because I want to sit in one place.
So why didn't you do that for me?
Because I'm not host.
I'll make you host.
Okay, but that won't be fair on you.
It's all good. I can sit back and enjoy.
Anyway, let's get through a few of these comments first. Big up.
We got
$1,000. Okay, I'm not monetized yet. Whatever your real name is. But you owe me $1,000 if we get bought by the Saudis once I'm monetized. You owe me $1,000 if we get bought by the Saudis.
But Nippin, the question is, what if we don't get bought by the Saudis?
We are already bought by the Saudis.
I don't get $1,000.
Yeah, but he wanted to close the account down. Your channel down.
No, I ain't closing my account down for nothing.
Then he's not gonna do the bet with you.
It's a joke anyway. He wouldn't leave it. He wouldn't even leave a deposit. I begged him on a Worldwide Chelsea stream just before. How many times did I beg him to show us how serious he is? Because we're not going to go into such a big bet with some Liverpoolsy schmuck that we can't even trust. Not going to happen. They show us you're serious.
LML laughing out loud emojis.
Mate, yeah, he's talking about a Cronky, but their owners ain't much better.
Nippins negotiators. Yeah, look, when family calls, you have to do your due diligence. Definitely at the petrol station.
Who's this spammer? I blocked him.
What's going on? What's up, Del Boy Gunner? What's the story? What's the crack? Subscribe to him. He's a gooner, but he's a real one.
Well, credit to him for coming onto a Chelsea channel and showing his support, mate. Thank you very much.
Lateness is greatness, my friend, as a journalist once said. We are here. Big up. Lateness is greatness. As a wise journalist once said, as a wise nerd once said,
Why-
lateness is greatness.
Why has people got spammers, man?
Oh, what dickheads, man.
Fools.
Low lives, man. Honestly, just losers.
No father
These
isn't
are no
going
fucking
to
life.
We don't want Fav on here.
It's his nip on his.
Oh,
Tony.
spam is annoying me, man.
What's wrong with these lot?
We're trying to hide them.
If anyone's a mod, also in the comments, if you can
I'm
try
doing
and hide these people.
Up. Hi.
Yeah, but I mean anyone else other than you.
Hi, Del Boy. What's the story? What's the crack? Matt loves getting.
These
You're
are
not
actually no
serious.
life. Man just
Shut your
sitting there
mouth.
hating like that. What the fuck?
I'm okay.
Putting about
Okay.
£5 to
If
sit
you're
there.
serious, wait. He can't. I'm not monetized yet. Okay. If you're serious, if we get taken over by the Cronkies, you have to donate £1,000 or dollars onto this channel.
1,000 American. Fucking hell.
Nippin,
Let's talk about the game, bro.
Nippin, do you want to mod Daniel Crane so we can get rid of some of the spanners while we keep on chatting?
Yeah. Where is Daniel Crane?
He's just above the comment you've highlighted.
Right. Okay. I'm modding. I'm modding Jose CFC. I am going to mod. Okay, you are all mods now. You're both mods. Right, mods, do your job. Right, Matt, what do you
Take
think?
this comment
of the
down.
game?
Take this comment down. I don't want to see it anymore. Take it down. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sick of this fool. Low life.
Anyway, as you were saying, Nippin.
So yeah, what were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good game overall. I thought it was a good first half. We kind of got the game over and done with quite quickly. And then I think the second half was just the story of it's just before international break. Players are trying not to get injured, trying not to get suspensions for the next Premier League games or the FA Cup semi-final. I still think we controlled Middlesbrough quite well. There was a couple of chances they had, but nothing too terrible. I mean, there wasn't any chances where I thought, oh, Mendy's had to get us out there. But overall, yeah, I think it was a decent performance. I mean, people were moaning, but I mean, we've won 6 from 6, so you can't complain about that when you're currently going through the situation that we are.
Yep.
Yep, Alfred.
Yeah, as Matt said, a very professional performance. A lot calmer and controlled and more confident than some other cup games that we've seen recently. You know, and it's more special to me personally because this is a team that you might remember eliminated, Spurs and Manchester United. I mean, as small and insignificant and shit as they are, they can still be pretty good and pretty dangerous on their day, But we came, we did our business very well, swept them under the carpet, and onto the semi-finals. Beautiful.
I mean, all I'm going to say is 3 of the traditional top 6 got beaten by championship teams, but for Chelsea, that's not what we do.
That's correct. Well said,
Shout
Matt.
out to Del Boy for that. Not in the Forest team. But anyway, carry on, Nippin.
Yeah, look, beating a championship team isn't for everyone, man. Come on.
That's right.
United.
Guys, let's do a Nippin song, a Nippin chant.
Okay. I'm trying to
Um,
think of it.
Nippin Sharma, he's one of our own. He's one of our own. He's one
He's
of
one
our
of
own.
our own. Nippin
Nippin
Sharma,
Sharma,
he's one of our own. Oh, fantastic.
There you go.
Oh, when I see you nipping, I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough.
Yo, you sound like father, bro. Chill.
I don't sound like father. I'm not like, oh, Ferrari, the best, Leclerc, signs.
Team of Werner, though.
Man, come on to me at the Formula One saying, because Bottas was ahead of Hamilton at one point, saying, "Oh, you regretting Bottas left?" And then look what happened. Bottas got 10th.
What, today?
Yeah. He was coming at me in Q1. I was like, mate, Bottas is going to finish below Hamilton, and he finished 10th. So, yeah.
Okay. If this guy wants me to shut down my YouTube channel if we don't...
Just leave it.
Nah.
Just
Nippin,
just
just
ignore
ignore
him.
it. Just talk Chelsea.
Yeah,
Come on.
he's had his fun. He can piss off now.
Nippin,
Yeah.
come on. Host it better. Come on. Talk to us about Chelsea. Ask us some questions.
So, who do you think we're getting in the semis?
Not Liverpool. I think Liverpool will always be in the final.
No, man, we have to. Look, I'd rather knock them out rather than win a trophy.
Listen, we could get Liverpool in 3 finals: Carabao Cup, Emirates FA Cup, Champions League.
Oh yeah,
So,
think about that.
my prediction for this is we get one of the. Is it Everton versus Southampton are playing each other?
Nah, City and Southampton.
So it's Everton and Forest, isn't it?
No, it's
I don't know.
Liverpool Forest.
Who's playing Everton?
I have no idea.
Everton and whoever they're playing. I think we'll get the winner of that.
Crystal
Liverpool
Palace.
Crystal Palace. Liverpool will face City, and then I think we'll get Liverpool in the final, as Sadiq kind of said. Which I would take, because I think we have the beating of Liverpool. Not to trigger that idiot in the comment section, but
Oh shit!
I
All
think
of the
we
matches
ha-
are tomorrow.
yeah, all of them are tomorrow.
Oh
We
right.
need
I
a
mean-
break from streaming tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, we need a much needed rest.
But yeah,
They're in Chelsea.
I think we've got the better of Liverpool in general. I think Liverpool have been very lucky with refereeing decisions. So I think it will be time for us to get our revenge, and for the 3rd time of asking, we'll win an FA Cup.
Yo, Nippin, check those comments from Sam Malone.
What?
Yeah, because I keep streaming, man. I'm doing 4 or 5 streams a day, and
I mean, he is a bit. I do get his point.
go to the next comment from him. No, from Sam.
This guy's doing my head in. If you keep spamming, I'm gonna time you out.
Just time him out, Nathan.
Ban them.
You know what? Why am I saying I'm gonna time you out? I'm gonna do it. Oh, thanks, Jose. Mod's done it for me.
That's what mods are for.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
I'm probably gonna watch both of the matches. The Southampton City and Nottingham Forest Liverpool. Can't lie. Should be back on work by that time tomorrow. So
Look, Nippin, all my regular comments are here.
Just-
Look, Click,
just a second.
Jose, CSC. Look, I bought the whole gang with me today.
Thanks, man. I have a few of mine as well. Like,
Yeah. RD, Sasuke. Look what Sasuke is all here.
Big
All
up
the main
Sasuke.
guys here. Elias. All the guys are here. Guys, like the video for Nippin. Let's get over 20 likes. Let's go.
Perfect.
Oh, there's a fake account of me now. Great.
What?
and I can
I'm dead.
Christ.
Wait. Someone's hacked me because it's got a spanner next to him. Or is it a fake spanner?
Wait,
Nah, it doesn't have a spanner next to it for me.
Hey,
My one
lads,
has got a spanner.
I'm sorry to interrupt, mate, but I gotta head off, do some wedding preparations.
No problem.
But
go to the channel.
Nippon, thank you so much for having me on and giving me the opportunity to come and be on the stream of a beloved legend such as yourself. I look
Okay,
forward
this
to
was
it.
a fake you, which I modded by accident.
I'll speak to you
Silly
soon, lads.
man. Sorry,
bit,
Alfred. Take care,
Alfred.
bro.
Alfred, big up. Take care.
Tom,
Enjoy your
Yeah. You too, lads.
Sadiq, comment in the live chat so I can actually mod you.
Okay, but get rid of this one first, and then I'll comment.
I've got rid. I've got rid.
No, you got rid of him for 5 minutes only. You can come back.
Oh, I mean, like I've got rid of his mod.
Okay, I've commented now saying yo.
Right.
Can you see it? I'm already a mod.
Oh, you already are. You already are.
But you need to get rid of the other one, okay? When he comes back in 5 minutes, fully hide him. Just hide him. Don't even time him out.
Ban him.
No, someone else has hidden him. Someone else has hidden him.
Okay, if you did, then that's fine.
Right. So, East Side Views says, I'm not going to read that because we know it's not true. Pick up. No, it was someone pretending to be Sadiq. We will open up the lines in a few minutes. Right now it's Chelsea only, but then I'm gonna let people ask myself and Worldwide Chelsea, Adnan and Matt questions.
So, Nippin, who do you think we're going to get in the semi-final?
Honestly, I want a big team.
So, Liverpool City.
Yep.
I mean, it'd be. I wouldn't want to
Preferably
get.
Nottingham Forest knocked Liverpool out. That would be.
I wouldn't really want City, if I'm honest, because we've already potentially got them in the semi-final of the Champions League. I don't want to get battered by City too many times.
No, come on. You can only batter someone so much before they get figured out. You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, I get what you mean, but I'm just worried about City at the moment because I think they've looked this season against us every time I know they haven't beaten us by big score lines, but
They've outplayed us.
It's just been 1-0. It's just been 1-0.
Yeah, but I mean, without Mendy, it could have been so much more.
Yeah.
It was almost like. Do you remember? Was it the Conte match where we lost 1-0, and it just felt like complete sufferable. They've been a bit like that this season.
No, it's true, man. This is also a good comment from Daniel. Everyone's thoughts on Pulisic's poor performance. Some people gave him a 7. Not going to say who.
Oh, he got bodied today.
But I agree, man. I think it's being cautious for the international break for sure. They've got a very, very important qualifier.
I don't really blame him for that because.
7.
I mean, I did say I think if it wasn't for the injury, I would have given him lower. But I think where he had that kind of injury and it didn't. When I watched it, it didn't look great. I was surprised he carried on. So I think I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because he's played so well in the last few games, and then it was only after that injury.
Would you have done that for Cho?
If he had the same type of injury, yes. See, the problem with Callum is Callum doesn't have them injuries. He just normally dips like that in halves.
Nippon, what did you make of Pulisic today?
So.
Sometimes very good, sometimes very...
Look, this is my channel. You can say whatever you like.
Sometimes very good, sometimes very amazing.
Yes. Right. Speaking of the player ratings, we're going to do that right now.
Let's do this.
All right. Share screen.
Nippin Sharma, everywhere he goes. Nippin Sharma, everywhere he goes.
Nippin travels everywhere he goes.
Nippin travels everywhere he goes. You lot missed it. He was at the airport yesterday. Please.
I thought he was supposed to go home and he ended up in the airport. What the hell?
He's in the airport, bro. What are you doing there, Nippin?
Just like the airport, just like. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, makeup, lad.
Right, this is how I do my player ratings.
Okay.
So we're gonna start off with Mendy.
Top.
So, wait. Let's start. What I do with player ratings is that the majority, wins. So, like, you could say top, but everyone else could say middle. You know what I mean,
Yeah, that's fine.
right?
There
So,
we
what
go.
are we saying?
Top.
I mean, I would say top as well. I'd agree with that.
Adnan?
I think he's gone to the toilet. We'll skip him for now. Nippin, what do you want to put him?
Right. I'm gonna say top.
Okay, let's put him in. The fuck?
It says dog shit.
Um,
So we know who's going in that category.
yeah.
A certain number 11.
Nippin, you need to put subscribers on only on your chat. Do you do that?
Yeah, I forgot. I'll do that.
You need to do it as soon as possible because a lot of spammers, man. We need to get rid of them. There's too many of them. If I had access to your account, I would have just done it. But
Yo, I'm back. My bad. I have to go quick.
No worries.
And these are still actually spamming this shit.
yeah, because he needs to put subscribers on. But
I will do.
so
I will do
fucking
after I've finished renaming.
please, quickly, please. There's too many. Nippin.
Oh,
Your
how many
channel's-
accounts? He's definitely got like 5 of his boys making like 5 accounts
Right.
each.
Nippin,
Right, before I continue, I'm going.
Nippin, these guys in the comments are more important. Come on, let's sort it now as soon as possible. It's priority.
Right,
Priority, man.
It's priority. Your channel is more important than this.
right. I'm taking the tier maker thing off for now.
Okay,
Apparently,
just sort it out.
Tuchel has revealed that he's going to request for James to be omitted from the squad, for the England squad.
Sorry?
Tuchel's going to request for Reece James to be omitted from the England squad. So
Was he selected? Was he selected? for
selected?
England?
Yeah, he was. They're going to try and get him removed. He's asked Petr Cech to negotiate with the England FA.
I mean, I'm not being funny. We're playing friendlies. It's not like Reece James needs to play.
Exactly.
Let
I was suggesting that if he goes, you could do some fitness work, but then there's no point. You might as well stay here and do fitness work.
stay here, do fitness work ready for the Brentford.
And
game.
also with the people that are not on international duty, you can just work with them. And maybe little physical training sessions and stuff. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they all do training sessions while other players are on international duty. You have like some of the younger players called up, the likes of Vale and all that will go into the first team and do training. He can maybe do some light ball work with Chilwell as well.
Yeah. Apparently he's a few months ahead of recovery as well, but I don't want him to be rushed back. That's the last.
I don't think I think when they say that, it means I think they mean more maybe match fitness. So I think rather than end of the year, him coming back full fitness, it might be they'll try and get him back end of October, something like that. I think they're also trying to say that because if say with the owners we ain't able to have a transfer window, it's a kind of a bit of a PR thing to go, well, Chilwell's coming back, so we don't need to worry about a left back so much.
Yeah.
to calm the fans down a little bit, because obviously the fans will take that bait quite easily. So it's just covering themselves a little bit, because obviously the PR game is on steroids at the moment with Chelsea,
Yeah, so true.
which I don't mind. I think it's a situation
Yo.
where PR is needed.
Sorry, Nippin, you disabled the chat.
Have I?
Yes, you've disabled the chat. No one can comment.
Shoot. Shoot. Done this before.
You need help. I'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah, oh my god. I can't believe what I've just done.
You need to. Let me do it for you. Whereabouts are you now?
Stop being a silly Nippin.
And,
It actually looks so weird seeing Nippin in his bloody office, bro. Honestly.
Alright. Edit.
It's funny because I used to think that was actually his room, but I thought when he did his tour, it's actually just his office.
Nippin, did you change it?
That's what I thought it was his room as well.
Wait, you lot. Wait. Nippin, have you changed it?
Save.
He's airing you, bro.
I'm trying to. Have I changed it? Is it working now?
Oh, I don't think you're funny, man.
No.
Man, Nippin's actually a goat, man. He's
You've done something. You've done something. Explain to me where you are on your screen so I can help you, please.
I'm on my.
Can you go on customization on the left, on the details?
Yep.
Yeah, click
Subscribers only.
Yeah.
Slow mode. I'll do it for 1 second.
Well, in the meantime,
Chat disabled. Edit.
Matt, how's life?
Yeah, life is good. I mean,
Nippin,
England
just
just-
share your screen. I can help you. Share your screen, the YouTube screen. I can literally help you right now. I'll tell you what to do.
No, it's not. Save changes.
Nippin!
It's done! I've done it!
Yeah. Well, subscribers isn't on though.
Is it not?
No, share your screen. Share your screen. Let me just tell you how to do it quickly. Share your screen. I'll show you how to do it, man.
I've done it before, but I don't know.
Don't worry. I'll show you how to do it. Go share your YouTube screen and I'll show you how to do it. I'll do it for you in 3 clicks, man. Welcome back, people. Apologies about what's going on. Any convenience caused. Okay, now go on YouTube Studio. Top right, press your profile picture. Profile. Right. Yep.
Yep, that one.
YouTube Studio. Yep. Okay. Content on the left. Live, middle top. Yep. Scroll. Don't press anything. Just scroll. Yeah. That one. Yep. Is it that one? No, it's not that one. It's not that one. Go back. Can you go back? Yeah, left side, back. Left side. Yep. Press it one more time. Oh, we need to get out of this. Actually, no.
I was right.
No, press edit. Yeah, press edit. Yeah, press edit.
Alright.
Yep. That's it. Okay. Yep. Put 1 minute. 1 minute.
1 minute.
Yep. And no, hang on. Press slow mode. Look at the messages. Yep. Put 5 seconds.
I'm gonna do 5 seconds.
Yeah. Save. And then updated now.
Yeah. Right, we can finally get back
That's
to.
it. Done.
Thank
Now
God for that.
close this.
We can finally get back to
Football
the
talk.
player ratings. So I've changed them to my personal standards: elite, which is like between 8 and 10, top tier, just below, meh, average, terrible, not good, and dog shit, like, you know, you get me.
Basically.
At Malang Sar level.
Yeah.
Nippin, check the private chat when you can.
Yeah, I'll check it now. Yeah, let's get started then. Right. Top tier. So Rudiger, where are we putting him?
Top tier.
I would agree, top tier.
Yeah, same.
Okay, I've been outnumbered.
What would you have put him in?
What would you put?
I would have put him in elite.
Okay, no, it's fine. We'll leave him there. Next.
Who else played?
Thiago Silva?
Thiago Silva.
Who timed out Major Kante?
Not me.
Leicester till I die timed out Major Kante. It's fine. Carry on. Silva.
Don't worry. Yeah.
It's fine. He'll come back
Don't
after 5
worry.
minutes.
He timed him out. It was an accident, so that I'm not gonna hold him against that.
Carry on. Thiago Silva. Let's go.
Right. Thiago Silva.
He's at the bottom next to the person in the black.
Right. I am now opening up the lines. So if anyone wants to join, just DM me and I'll DM you the link.
Okay, let's put Thiago Silva as elite, please.
Yeah, I would say elite. I think he's
definitely.
and I would say he's the only player that gets into elite.
100%.
Okay. I am going to send the link out to people who want to join. Del Boy, if you're still in the chat, I'm sending you the link if you want to join. Give a bit of an neutral view on the whole thing.
So next player, should we go with Malang Sarr or Azpilicueta?
So,
Bash him in the bin straight away.
Yeah,
Does not belong in that left back position.
put him in dog shit, nipping. I think everyone will agree with that.
He's a good player, but left back, no. It's no. Never.
I think it's time for us to make some profit on him.
Yeah.
Any
Right.
Depends on how many centre backs we lose in the summer.
any of the Italian clubs ready? We're ready.
I don't know which one is Malang Sarr.
Fourth one in.
Right. So he goes in dog shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Aspie.
I would put him in. See, I don't know. I would be a bit harsh and say meh because
Yeah, I was going to say that as well.
I gave him a 6.5, so I feel like that's not top tier. But it's like the upper end of meh.
who?
But I don't. Asby.
Meh.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Meh.
I gave him a 6.5, so I don't feel like that's a top tier rating.
Yeah, it's a
But
meh.
It's like it's an upper range meh. It's not like a meh as in the Kalamasta Hudson-Odoi meh. It's like a.
It's like Pulisic 7 rated meh.
Pick up yourself, Miss Melina.
My FC.
Man's coming at me for my Pulisic rating.
I'm definitely gonna come out. You definitely on the pod as well.
Mate, you rate Alonso, so
Yeah, but at least Alonso gets us goals and assists.
has Pulisic not got us goals and assists?
Not today to get 7.
I mean, he's got goals and assists for many of the other
Bro.
games that he's played.
Matt, you're my guy, but Justice gave him a 5.5.
Yeah, I know. I did change it to a 6.5 anyway.
That's still
so
bad.
That is not
Right.
bad.
I gave him that. I gave him that as well.
So,
He was getting pocketed by that player.
who are we? Who are we doing?
Should we go on to my favourite player?
Ruben.
This cheek.
Yeah,
He was
elite.
fucking terrible today.
Elite.
Oh, here we go. Adnan, no.
Nah, today, bro, today.
No.
Usually I say he's a good player.
No.
Today he was awful.
Put him elite,
Oh,
elite,
bro.
elite.
Okay, one says elite.
Put him in there.
Yeah. Put him in there.
Not terrible, not just about not top tier.
He's just in the middle. It's just like.
Just to run up.
Elite, break the vote. Break the vote.
Huh?
You are.
No.
I'm joking. He's meh. Put him meh.
Okay.
We got KJ in the comments.
Big up, KJ.
Yeah.
Break up. Sorry. Where is KJ? I didn't see KJ. Oh, hello. Right. Birthday boy.
Oh, birthday Hakim Ziyech, top tier.
Okay, Matt says top tier.
Yeah, I'm saying top tier.
Sadiq's not here, so Nippin, you got to decide it.
I'm going to say elite. And I'm going to let Sadiq break the tie.
I just feel like he was good, but I for me, I think I don't think anyone gets elite apart from Thiago Silva today.
Yeah, I agree. Thiago Silva's on a different level. I can't believe we got it for free, honestly.
Mate, I've been wanting this player for absolute
ages,
ages. And I thought, oh, is it going to be one of them players we just miss out on? We got him, and I think that there was a few people who were like, oh, is he going to do well? I said, this guy is going to smash it. I didn't think he'd smash it for this long, arguably, but this guy is, I think, comfortably the best centre-back in the world right now.
Yeah, he is.
Any Liverpool fan in the comments, whether they're friends of Nippin or not, could not argue that Thiago Silva is not contender for best in the world over
100%.
Van Dijk.
Man,
But Van Dijk this year hasn't been great though. That's the thing.
my rice
Yeah.
got burnt nipping.
That's peak.
My rice is burnt nipping. My house is burning down.
Take cover! No.
No, I'm serious. It's burning.
Shoot. I don't want your house to burn down. They'll call 999.
I left the windows and doors open. I'm a bit worried right now. No, I'm serious. My rice actually burnt. Like generally. I
But
can-
did you but enough to burn the house down?
Yeah.
Call the fire brigade.
I can't. I'm stuck.
Right, I'll do it.
Okay.
Nippin, no, don't call 999. Nippin, don't. Sadiq is trolling. Don't call 999.
I'm not. Put it on loudspeaker.
Mate, Sadiq,
Right. Here we go.
That's peak.
Nippin, don't call 999.
Right, Sadiq.
I can't see it. That's not the camera. The camera's on your right. Yeah, go and call it.
Oh my god, no, don't.
I'm joking.
Thank God.
Nippin, you really think Sadiq would be sitting there if his
But there's
house
a
was
fire in his
burning
house.
down? You think he wouldn't have got his cat out? I know Sadiq is a fan of Kurt Zuma, but he's not that bad.
Bro, my cat's chilling here, bro. Sorry, but my rice has burnt though. That's it. But it's fine. Nipping. I'll stay on for you.
That's all right. Sadiq can get Pepe's or something.
No. I need to eat rice. I can eat the top part of the rice.
What's your? Do you have Twitter? Daniel.
Daniel Crane.
Yeah.
Daniel, message me on Twitter. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to him. Nippin, carry on the show, please.
Yeah.
I'll sort out.
Sadiq, what would you put Ziyech in terms of
Elite.
So Nippin said elite. Me and Adnan said top tier.
Chat. You can decide. Big up yourself, Bargav.
So I mean, our argument was we think only Thiago Silva should be elite.
Yeah.
Ziyech's got a banger.
Yeah, but I mean, elite is at least an 8.5 to 10 out of 10. For me, I think he's just below that.
That's racist.
Why is that racist?
Because he's not white.
No, that's
Nippin,
not.
take Matt off.
I mean, if we're gonna be brutally honest, Thiago Silva isn't specifically white.
I'm kidding, man. Who joined the panel today?
Bargav. You here?
Yeah, hey guys, how you guys doing?
Hi, man. How are you? Where are you from?
I'm doing well. Like I'm from the US, but I just came to like ask some like good like Chelsea questions if you don't mind. But like
Yeah, go for it. And where from US are you from?
I'm from Florida. I don't know where
nice.
you're from. It's my first time like seeing all four of you guys. So well, except for Nippin. So it's a blessing to be here. So I'll put it that way.
Yeah, drop your question. Yeah, go on. Let's hear it.
Let me ask you this: like, Pulisic, right? Like, I want to talk to you about Pulisic because, like, the U.S. qualifiers are coming up, right? And everyone in the U.S. wants to know, like, Pulisic is like picking up form, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Pulisic as a player?
A lot of potential. A bit injury prone, but on his day, he's a baller.
He's a
You
baller.
got to talk English to him, by the way. He won't understand slang, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm sure he understands baller.
nah, yeah, I understand slang, man. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean,
I'm not like that.
I mean, for me, I think he's in terms of talent, he has the potential to be one of the best attackers in this squad, bar Havertz maybe. And people talk about the injury-prone stuff, but as I've said before, he hasn't had a muscle injury for what I think it's nearly 14, 15 months now. The only injuries he's had in the last year has been illnesses or that ankle injury, which you might agree with the match if you watched it. Any player is getting injured from that exact same injury.
True. They were just kicking at his legs the whole game.
Kicking his legs and stuff. Yeah.
So I think the injury prone. I think he's actually took that out of his game, which is great. And I think
he's getting a lot more confidence.
Yeah, he's growing in confidence with his form, and I think he's started. I mean, the last few American games he has started to become that talisman again for you guys, and I think he's starting to improve for Chelsea as well with some consistency, which is great because at the moment all he's been playing is wing back,
Just
midfield,
because it's his birthday, I am actually going to put Hakim Ziyech in elite.
Okay.
I think it's the first time we've seen Pulisic consistent as well for a long time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Other than Project Restart, other than that.
Yeah, and I think he's. I just think I look at the way he plays. Even when people say that they want to get rid of him, I feel like he's one of them players. If you got rid of him, he'd come back and make you pay for it. Whereas I just don't have some of the other players. Werner, while he might play well in the Bundesliga, I don't think you'll have that same effect. Callum, I don't think you'll have that same effect unless he really starts to buck up his ideas.
I want Callum gone. To be real.
So I think Pulisic, in the last few games has at least sealed his Chelsea future. Whether we get another winger to provide more competition for him, because at the moment I don't think Werner really provides him competition, and neither does Callum. But yeah, I think he's a great talent for the US, and it's a pleasure to have him. If I'm honest, I wish we had him in the England team.
That's only true, you know. He'd bring a lot more fluidity to our England front line.
Adnan, who are you? I know we've talking to Sadiq about this yesterday, but Adnan, who are you at international level? Who do you support?
I'm gonna be real. I'm just a neutral. I'm gonna be real. I just watch whatever. I don't really support anyone.
Okay.
Nippin.
Yeah, I just watch some international like
No,
the Euros and stuff.
I get that. That's just the way it is. Like if international football isn't for everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people like they don't like international football.
I prefer club football to be honest, a lot more.
But it depends on like I feel like a lot of people in England like it's hard to like root for people like you kind of hate.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
throws you
There's
off.
rivals
There-
in the
there-
English
yeah,
league and
there's-
stuff, yeah.
There's too much rivalry, but I think in terms of in terms of actual players now, I think that kind of rival aspect has kind
Has
of
gone down.
disappeared.
Yeah, it has gone down quite a lot because they're all kind of like at a similar level, right?
Look, in terms of if you go back to the 2000s, all the Chelsea players would refuse to talk to the
Arsenal
Arsenal
players and the Tottenham and
Liverpool would
whatever.
refuse to talk to Man United.
Now it's all different because they all sort of like they got some like sort of friendship from like youth level and stuff. They all
Yeah, they're all like
sort
in
of
a
got like
way
a little bit of a bond.
they're all
You
boys.
see Harry Kane
Yeah,
and
they got
Bukayo
like a friendly
Saka
like.
having a laugh. Never in a million years. Look, you see Harry Kane and Bukayo Saka having a laugh on the England camp.
That,
That
that,
Like
was
a
that,
friendly
never
competition.
that's
that would
actually
never happen.
that's actually one
If you-
thing. While I think Southgate is a complete and utter fool, I think we do have to give him credit. I think he's cultivated a very good atmosphere within the England team that
Yeah, definitely.
other managers
It's more like
haven't done.
togetherness.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that's what's got us through certain matches and got us as far as we have. Unfortunately, we just haven't had the talent from the manager in terms of, especially, I think, tactical changes to finish it off. I think if we had Grealish on within the Euros, I think we would have. I think we would have had a much better chance against Italy. I think the main problem with that game was we were doing okay against Italy, and then as soon as I think Berto Mancini's the Italian manager.
Yeah.
As soon as he put Chiesa in a false nine, Southgate didn't react to it, and that's how we end up getting to penalties in the end. And then obviously penalties is just the luck of the draw. Unfortunately, we lost out to again tactical decisions of bringing penalty takers on with 1 minute to go and making them take a penalty cold.
Look, man, the thing I like about this England team is that they actually take club rivalry out of the.
Yeah.
They don't care about which teams they play for, whereas in the past they would. Like never in a million years during the other England teams would you see Paul Scholes speak to Steven Gerrard or see.
Yeah, I don't like a. Hey, let me ask you this. Like,
Nowadays,
I don't
you're
like
seeing
this
Harry
conversation.
Kane and Bukayo Saka speaking to each other. Never in a million years would you have seen a Tottenham and an Arsenal player speak to each other a long time ago.
That's true. Bargrave, what was your question?
My thing was like, listen, like international football is very different. Like, I feel like if you're in the U.S., like I feel like international football, you have a big deal of respect for it. But the biggest question for me tonight is like, what do you think about like the rest of the players, apart from like Pulisic? I just came on for like Pulisic, but
in terms of Chelsea or international?
Yeah, in terms of Chelsea, like for tonight's game.
Yeah, I think Thiago Silva was typical Thiago Silva. I don't really know how else to put it other than that. I thought Ziyech played well. Rudiger played well. Mendy played well. Outside of that, I think everyone else was a bit more meh, but got the job done. It wasn't like they played bad, apart from Werner and Sarr. but it's more of getting the job done. And as I said on the stream already, Chelsea have gone 6 out of 6 in terms of wins. And in the situation we're in terms
That's
of
actually very
the outside
impressive.
problems, yeah, it's very impressive. And I don't think anyone would expect us to be at that point. So I'm kind of happy with the way it's going. And as long as we keep grinding out results, especially in the cup matches, because if we're honest, the league is just consolidating third place. I don't think Arsenal will get to us. I think we're 5 points away from Arsenal. We've still got to play them as well. They've still got to do a North London derby, which I know Tottenham have been poor, but form goes out the window of them sort of derbies. So, I don't think Arsenal's catching us. So I think it's all about the cups, and more importantly, it's just trying to get this owner sorted and trying to get I think getting fans back in the stadium will be a big thing, because I think that's the only issue with me about Real Madrid is going to the Bernabeu with no fans. I think that could have a big effect on the players in terms of advantage for Real Madrid.
And I really don't want to be knocked out by them. I mean, they are so annoying.
Yeah, all that Super League bullshit.
I mean, how do you think you match up? How do you think you match up? Because I feel like that's a very tough matchup this year. Like last year was a different story.
I think it depends on if Ancelotti is going to be smart about it. I feel like if he's going to do the same as last year and go with a Modric kind of midfield, I feel like he's going to run into the same problems.
Hey, guys. Sadiq has to go. I mean, big up yourself for coming on. Make sure you subscribe to him on all socials. His name is in the description of the video. So yeah, with that being said, any final things you want to say?
Yeah, we got the panel, of course. Good to see you guys on. Hopefully, we get invited again. And Nipin, thanks for having me on.
Of course, I'm going to call you on my phone after the stream. After the stream, I need to discuss something with you.
Am I in trouble?
No. In fact, I'll call you after you leave, like literally live on stream.
All right, cool. Okay. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. Take care.
Take care.
Stay.
But yeah, as I was saying, I think if they go with that same midfield, I feel like Kante and Jorginho will once again just outrun that midfield. But if he's smarter and goes with someone like Valverde and Camavinga, maybe, I feel like Real Madrid might get a more strong hold of the midfield. I think one of the key battles is Vinicius Junior versus, hopefully, fingers crossed, Reece James.
Yeah.
I think if it's Azpilicueta or any centre back that is played there as a cover right back, I think we're in trouble. But if Reece James is there, I think that's going to be a very intriguing battle to see who comes out on top. And for me, I always, in them situations, I just can't not back Reece James.
True.
Obviously, Benzema is going to be a threat as usual, but we'll have to wait and see how much of a threat he will be. I feel like we can still keep him out like we did last time. I don't, as much as Real Madrid have been better, I don't think there's too much change. I think, especially if we go with the Havertz, Pulisic, Ziyech front three, I think that can do a lot of damage to what. Yes, they've got Alaba, but I think he's still a weaker back line. I also think, looking at the Real Madrid PSG game, as I said to Nippon before, PSG were better than Real Madrid for 3/4 of them 2 legs. They just bottled it in the last minute, and Benzema had a bit of class. I feel like if Real Madrid play like that, Chelsea are not going to do that exact same thing. Chelsea will hold it out, and I think Chelsea will dominate the match.
So basically, you're saying Real Madrid are Benzema and Inshallah?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in that game against PSG, Real Madrid struggled generally, and Benzema got them out of a tough situation with the help of PSG bottling it. I'm just saying if they play the exact same way as they did, Chelsea will not bottle it and not do the same as what PSG did. But on their day, Real Madrid can beat anyone. So it depends on what Real Madrid turns up.
Hi, Daniel.
So let me ask you this question: like, you guys saw Real Madrid last year, right?
Yes.
So Vinicius is a lot better this year. The midfield is I wouldn't say it's like better. It's like somewhat the same, but like,
I think there's more energy in that midfield when certain
there's
players
definitely
play.
more energy options. Yeah, exactly. You just said it. Like more energy options, right?
Mhm.
So like, do you think like it's gonna be a bigger challenge in some way?
Yeah, of course. I think it'll be a bigger challenge. The only thing I would point out is, yes, Vinicius Junior is playing a lot better, but at the same time, if we have Reece James at right wing back or right back, whatever it's going to be, I feel like it's not going to be so much of a problem because Reece James is a very good player and can deal with most attacking wingers. So I feel like if it was the other side and Vinicius was playing against Alonso, then I'd be worried. I wouldn't be talking like this at all. I'd be panicking for the whole 180 minutes. But because it's Reece James, I feel like I still have confidence that Reece can get the better of him. But that's hoping that Reece James is fit, which is why I agree with Tuchel that Reece James should be not playing for England and working to get him to top fitness. I mean, look at how he was against Burnley. As soon as he come on, it changes the whole Chelsea dynamic because
fully changes it.
Chilwell and Reece James, it's crazy to see how important they are to the side in terms of the attacking and the defensive. So, let's see. I mean, I'm not, as Elias said, I'm not writing off Real Madrid. I said on their day, they can beat us. But I think at the moment, the way Chelsea play, especially in cup competitions, I don't fear anyone.
No,
Not even like a Man City a little bit. But I don't fear Liverpool. I think we've got the better of Liverpool in most games this season. We've just been unlucky with decisions and whatnot. I don't fear Bayern Munich. I don't think their defense is fantastic, while their attack is really good. So I think it's whoever's deficiency is not as bad on the day will win that match between Bayern and Chelsea. But I think it would be a very good game.
Elena, do you want to jump on?
But yeah.
Oh, that would be great. Like, yo, Mel, come on. Like, sincere respect to like you guys, man. Like, I mean, I'm learning a lot more about Chelsea. Like, I love the fact that you guys have no fear about like going into these things, and that's where like I wish my team was at right now. The problem is, with the quality, I wish like we were there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because us Chelsea fans, it seems a bit arrogant to say, but we've been through so many trophy wins. We know this team is just. While we do have the potential to bottle it at times, this team do know how to win, and especially with how Tuchel has been generally since he's come in, we just look so comfortable in cup games. So it's always one of them things that it is exciting to watch us play. But that comes with, again, winning trophies a lot of the time and getting results done and grinding things out. The problem is you get teams like Arsenal and Tottenham that they don't really grind out the results. They just when it gets tough, truly, at the moment they don't have the bottle for it. Even the likes of Manchester United, as you've seen with Athletic Madrid, when it gets tough, when they've got a team that's a bit resistant, they crumble. Liverpool, they have that mental resistance. I think Man City do, but in the Champions League, something seems to be up. I don't know whether Pep's trying a bit too hard to win the competition because I know he's under pressure with it. I know Pep's a brilliant manager and he shouldn't be under pressure, but let's be real. The 2 times he's won the Champions League, they've been at Barcelona teams where he's had all of it made for him, and if I'm not, I don't want to feel salty, but both times the semi-finals have had criminal decisions go for Barcelona. So the fact that he didn't win it at Bayern, which was a Bayern team that was fantastic,
One of the best ever.
Yeah, it's one of the best buying teams to ever grace German football. And he's not won it in Man City.
Well, by the way,
Sorry, say that again.
can we do the player ratings?
Yeah, let's carry on with the player ratings. Yeah.
Nippin, I need to go, yeah? So,
Um,
thanks for having me on. It's my first time on the stream. Whenever you're next streaming, let me know and I'll jump on again.
Okay, do you follow me on Twitter?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
In a bit,
I'll be
guys.
streaming tomorrow, so if you want to jump on for that, that would be great.
All right, no problem. Just let me know whenever you're streaming.
Yeah, I stream every Sunday.
Perfect. All right, in a bit, guys.
See you.
A bit. But yeah, we can carry on with the player ratings now. Who we done? We done the back four. Haven't we? We done Ruben. Do we have Kovacic? Nippin, you can start if you want with.
Okay, Kovacic. Right, where is he? I would put him in. If there was something between meh and top tier.
That's what I feel like I put him in the same bracket as Ruben.
Yeah, so I'm gonna listen for this one, this part, but like I'll definitely like ask you guys questions after if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
Get involved, Barga.
I don't mind, but like I feel like you guys gonna judge your players more harshly than me.
We always love an outsider's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, Nippin, you can. I think, yeah, meh would be perfect for Kovacic.
Yeah, I'll put him in that as well. Chat, get involved.
Yeah, guys, let us know what you think in terms of Kovacic, and we'll read them out as we go through.
Okay.
Do we
Artie said meh.
and go like
Yeah,
top tier?
this will be for all of us, I'm assuming. Lampard or Gerrard?
I'm gonna be shamefully biased.
I'm pleading the fifth on that one.
I'm gonna go Lampard.
Can I say it really depends on what you want?
Yeah, I mean they are different midfielders. That's the thing I don't like about this debate. They are different midfielders, and there's not a problem with liking both. I always feel it has to be a Lampard or Gerrard, but why can't we just appreciate that they're both very good players at different things?
For me, it's like Lampard, but like I just felt like he had like a little bit more, but it's a big debate. So
yeah, I respect
personal
people.
preference,
I respect people that talk about Gerrard and say he is better because I can understand reasons. I've always said I think Paul Scholes is a bit overrated. I don't like when he's put in the same bracket, but
he sucks toes.
Huh?
And he sucks toes.
I mean, yeah, that's a bit weird as well. But I mean, if it's your thing, it's your thing. Who am I to judge what's weird and what's not? If I'm honest. But yeah, I would say Lampard personally, but that is me being a Chelsea fan. So obviously.
So let's see what the chat has to say. Lampard. Melina says Lampard.
See that Arsenal fans are coming and saying Lampard as well. So it's...
no, I mean, like it's just an honest thing. Like I feel like Lampard was better, but
yeah,
depending on like where you're at, like everyone's gonna like have like a million responses to that question.
Exactly. I mean, if we were to discuss it to 100 different people, it would be 50-50. So that's why I think it's an interesting debate, but yeah. So do we want to move on to Mount for the player ratings?
Right.
Mount, I think, is fifth in.
Player. Mount. Here we go. Right.
I would put him in top tier just because.
Let me shamefully Johnny and put him here.
I would put him in top tier.
Okay. Yeah, because we don't know where Johnny would put him.
Johnny would have. There wouldn't even be an elite. It would just be the Johan Cruyff, as he keeps calling him at the moment,
Yeah, okay, top tier.
or he would just be nicknamed the Glue because that's apparently what he is.
So
Yeah, top tier.
Audi wants him in elite.
Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, yes,
For this game, yeah. For this game, yeah. I think so.
I think the thing is, I know he got the 2 assists, although I'd argue, really, the second, as Jester said in Worldwide Chelsea Strip, the second assist, it's one of them ones. It's a simple pass, and Ziyech has made something out of it. I don't think anyone was expecting Ziyech to pop in a goal like that from that position. So it's not like it's an assist that Mount has done wonderful. In the first one, I think is a great ball to Lukaku, and I'll give him credit for that. That's why I'll put him in top tier. But I think his overall game was still at times a bit meh. I still expect a bit more from him. But yeah, it was a good performance nonetheless. But
Hey, can I ask you one question? Like, when you do these player ratings, like, everyone has like a different perspective, right? Like, there are like defenders, something like that. What do you like view the game as? Like, are you more like a cam? Like, did you play like anything like, in that way, like vision?
Is it as in me as playing as a player?
Yeah.
I was a centre back.
Okay. So you view it like from like a center back like perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always very critical and non-critical in the centre back option because I kind of
You
have
see the
the
whole field.
experience. Yeah, I have the experience of that specific position, but I also I kind of look at how I always like to look at how it transitions from the back to midfield. I always like to concentrate on that with the midfielders a little bit and the control, and then the attackers. I look at how they're looking to beat their specific defender. For example, if you're on the left, how are you looking at against the right centre back? How are you looking at the right back? I like to look at overall game. Yes, like
that's
a
good
goal.
perspective to have.
Moments are good in a game, and if you say you've scored the winning goal, of course I'm going to give you a high rating because you've won us the game.
Yeah.
But I do like to look at overall performance, and that's why I have been a bit disappointed with Mount this season because while he's done well in moments, I feel his overall game has dropped, and the problem is in terms of the work rate that he does, which is still very good. He's still been doing very well at that. Players like Kai Havertz and Hakim Ziyech, who we will both call it, Chelsea fans were arguably last season both calling lazy. I think they've really stepped up their pressing game, and while it's not as good as Mount's, it's still a good high standard that it does kind of take that away from Mount. You can't just always go, well, Mount can do this, Mount can do that in terms of off the ball stuff. I think Mount does have to contribute more in terms of the actual technicality play, the actual technical ability, the vision particularly, to especially if he wants to play in this front three. I think naturally next season we'll transition to a 4 at the back. So he'll play in that number 8, which is his position in general. So I think that'll be good for him because at the moment he doesn't get in my preferred front three, especially in a 3 at the back, and that is very. I'd say people would say it's very controversial for me to say, but I've just
I
not
sent
seen
it to your DM.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That's a cool perspective to have because like most. So I love a cam perspective. So like if you can play like good like incisive passes, and so I like kind of judge it from that. But like a defender's perspective, that's amazing to have.
Yeah, I love to, especially when it comes to centre backs. I love to talk about the centre backs in a bit more depth because there was always this when people were moaning about Rudiger, I was always backing him, saying that there is there is something in there. I think there was, for me, when I think Rudiger, Conte, I think he was okay. Obviously, that was a poor season, but I think he done decent compared to the other signings. I think Sarri's season, I think he did very well. I think people forget the Sarri season. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, Rudiger can't play in the back 4," but Chelsea were the 3rd best defence in the league at that point, and he was playing next to David Luiz, who went to Arsenal and absolutely flopped.
Do you remember that game in which I think it was 0-0? Bhargav, you would know since you're an Arsenal fan. It was 0-0. 29 minutes in, Tammy was in on goal, and David Luiz just decided to 2-foot him. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, Agent Louise.
I mean, congratulations.
Melina?
Hi, Nippon. Hi, Matt. Hi, Bhargav. Hope everyone's well. To everyone in the chat, thanks for tuning in, and thanks Sadiq and Adnan for joining earlier. We're trying to get Nippon to 1K subs, so if you can subscribe to his channel, that'll be greatly appreciated as well.
Big up to Melina.
Big up.
No, it's a great conversation we're having right now. Actually, like, I mean,
where are we putting this? So let's continue with the player ratings. Where are we putting Mount then?
he has to be like, come on, he has to be up there for this game only.
I'd
Yeah.
say
It's only fair.
top.
It's only fair.
I'd say
It's only
top 10.
fair.
Because I mean, I'm kind of at the point. Thiago Silva is the elite player and the man of the match, and I think everyone else is just that bracket down. But
Look, Ziyech does not deserve to be an elite. Let's have that right. I'm just putting him there because it's his birthday.
yeah, it's his birthday, so we'll allow him on that. Happy
Yeah.
birthday to Hakim Ziyech if he ever actually listens to this. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So we want to do Pulisic first, or do we want to go on to Lukaku?
Yeah, let's rate bum cheeks then, shall
Can
we?
we just put Lukaku in meh, because we all know he's a bit of a meh player at this season.
Yeah,
No, I mean-
yeah. I'm gonna stand up for this guy, like, because this is like the biggest like Chelsea debate.
I also agree with Meh.
Meh. Matt says meh. Melina says meh.
Yeah,
Well,
you
Gav-
can do that.
I mean,
Whoever this troll is, man.
as someone
Sorry,
who's
like
part,
whoever this troll is, but come on, man. Like, do you actually go into like streams that you don't like? Come on.
how has he got? So he's actually subscribed. I mean,
Like,
fair play for
exactly,
him.
like, come on, like,
Fair
come
play
on,
for
man,
actually
like,
subscribing,
calm
because
down.
you're getting Niffington 1K. But please stop commenting. But
Wait, this guy is subscribed.
Yeah, like, I mean,
Subscribers. And listen, I still haven't forgotten about where's this comment? Where is it? Oh yeah. I still haven't forgotten about this. If Saudis buy your plastic club, you get 100 American dollars. If you are bought by another Cronky, you have to shut down. You know what? You owe me 1,000 American if we get bought, but I am never shutting down my channel.
yeah, man, come on, like,
I mean, he's a Liverpool fan. He definitely.
Nippon,
doesn't
if the
have
guy had
that.
$1,000, I'm sure he wouldn't be making fake
Exactly.
accounts on YouTube. Come on.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
let's
get it,
have
dude, like, I mean, come on, like, don't be childish, man. Come on.
yeah.
Let's
But
keep
I'm
going.
trying to deal with it in the chat, so Nippon, carry on.
But yeah, I mean, as a resident, as someone who's part Belgian, I am actually insulted the way Lukaku is embarrassing himself at Chelsea Football Club at the moment.
Is he
I
that bad?
Honestly, for that interview, you that is absolutely disgusting to do at a club, especially a club that you said you're playing the badge for. If you were just a player that just come in, say like a Ziyech who doesn't really have a affinity with the club and did that, I'd be annoyed, but I'd kind of get over it. But for someone that keeps preaching out that Chelsea is his home club, Chelsea was his boyhood club, he loves Chelsea, wants to play for the badge, he makes all that and then comes out and said what he said. It's just insulting, and it's embarrassing, just generally for himself, for his country, and for Chelsea fans. But I'm glad that these new owners are coming in, because I think it makes Lukaku easier to sell, because they haven't been the ones that have paid 100 million for him. So I think they'll be much more willing to sell him at a lower price than that 100 million price tag. Plus, I do not know what is going to happen with financial fair play, because I don't understand how you would calculate that with the big mess that's gone on with the sanctions. So I do have a feeling UEFA may be a bit more lenient with Chelsea and almost wipe this season clean, because it's just going to be too difficult to kind of handle and calculate because of what prize money we have or haven't got, sponsors we have or haven't got, revenue we have or have not made. So yeah, I think Lukaku, if we have a transfer window in summer, I think he's much more likely to go.
Right. We're talking about his performance today, though.
I go in meh because he scored the goal, but was not very good after that.
I concur. Melina?
Meh for me also. I mean, it was a tap-in goal, if we're being honest. He just did the bare minimum, and the rest of the game, it seemed like he didn't put much effort. So, yeah, meh for me.
Bargav?
Well, so it can't be like higher than like a 7, right?
Meh is anything below
Like about like.
Okay, I'll explain this. Dog shit is between 0 and 2. Terrible is between 2 and 5. Matt is between 5 and 6. Top tier
Right, more May than
is
more
like
May
7
than-
and 8. And elite is between 8 and 10.
You know what? I'll go with May.
Yeah, because I think I know it's a tap-in, but a striker's there to put the ball in the back of the net. So he did put the ball in the back of the net, no matter how easy it was. So you kind of got to give him at least something for that. But just again, his overall game just doesn't want to put the effort in, because I just don't think he gives a shit anymore. That's just the way I see it. It might be a bit harsh on the player. He might really care, but for me, Kai Havertz is the man to start the rest of the season, and he's the future for Chelsea. Simple as.
Steve, I'm just DMing you the link as we speak.
So do we want to get onto this Pulisic debate? Because I know some people are going to love to have that debate with me after I apparently...
Actually, I'm curious about this debate because, like, as an American, like, I want to hear this one because I love Pulisic, but like,
yeah, we have another American who regularly streams with us, and he actually gave him a poor rating today.
Okay.
Uncle Jester's.
Jester's gave him 5.5 million.
I watched the stream.
But what do you guys not like? Well, I mean, if we're starting the debate, let me know. Like, what do you guys not like about him?
I mean, I really like Pulisic. So
Steven?
Yeah.
But I mean, today I think the reason I gave him I didn't give him a pass, but I gave him the benefit of doubt because I think he was pretty good leading up to when he had that kind of, not injury, but he kind of had that fall and almost looked like he did something to his knee, but he seemed to play okay, but it almost looked like he was cautious to overstretch himself or do anything after that point. So I feel like there is kind of a genuine reason behind why he did drop all of a sudden. And I also think generally the second half, a lot of players did drop down a level anyway, because the game was kind of a little bit more sealed. We were kind of just doing the bare minimum to get through it. So I think he just did also drop with that as well. So I did kind of give him almost the benefit of the doubt in that respect.
What's the biggest? All right, so what's the Pulisic expectation though? Because like I feel like sometimes because I feel like he's a really direct player, right? On his day.
Yeah.
You guys can agree. Like, I mean, so what's the biggest like complaint? Like, does he not do it enough? Does he? I mean, obviously sometimes injuries affect that. I get that. Like, and CONCACAF is a tough league. I'll put it right. I'll put it. The last time like Pulisic came here, it was a bad injury. CONCACAF, blame CONCACAF for that. But like for me, like I feel like he's one of those players. Like he's so direct. Like he's perfect for like the league.
Yeah, but I think the common criticism I've seen at the moment is he's good with his dribbling. He's always been pretty good direct. Wins a lot of fouls, which I think is a very important part of the game, because at the end of the day, we've got a lot of good free kick takers. So if you can win more free kicks, there's a fairly good opportunity you could score from one of them free kicks. But I think what people have noticed recently, and I do understand this point, is sometimes when he's looking to make the pass, he's not looking up enough. And sometimes there are passes that he has missed, or sometimes he's almost over dribbled a little bit, and he could have chosen the pass.
There's a lot left to be decided.
So maybe looking up a little bit and making that pass would just elevate him to that level. But for me, I look at the I look at the team.
You're asking, Elias, because me, Matt, and Daniel are Chelsea fans. Bargav, Melina, and Stephen are Arsenal fans. Speaking of Stephen, how are you doing?
Not too bad, you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Right. Lucky you managed to avoid the banana skin that's Middlesbrough. I think you played well. I think Middlesbrough tried to give a good account of themselves, but I think the quality just showed in the end.
Yeah, look, we're not Man United or Tottenham. So
I mean, and if I'm going to make a shameless, if I'm going to make a shameless dig, we're not Arsenal either. We don't lose the Championship sides.
All right, Matt.
Hey, mate, you've lost before in the third round. Don't go
Hey,
there.
we haven't lost this year. It's not this year.
What happened in the last FA Cup final you're in? Oh yeah.
I mean, we lost to a very good Leicester side.
Yeah. The game at the end of the year is gonna be amazing. I can already sense it because you guys manhandled us when we weren't completely ready for the season.
It's alright. He's gonna get used to it. He's gonna get used to the lack of success when he finds he's got the new owners from America. He's gonna join the American Owners Club.
Don't worry. We've got our owners that are going to come in. Todd.
I know you're gonna experience what we have to experience all the time.
Melina, who was the source that said that about Todd Bowley?
CFCP, that guy, PYS.
Okay.
The one that
Sadiq,
the one that Sadiq normally shows on the streams. That guy.
Yeah, that's fine because
But the actual source was Rob Draper for the Mail Sport.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, it's the Daily Mail. So
I just say?
I call bullshit on the Daily Mail then. If it's the Daily Mail, it's bullshit.
Nippon, I can tell you right now, Nippon, I don't believe the Daily Mail for a second. They tried to accuse my surgeon that he'd take 20 grand over a Euro kid, right, to do a transplant, which was absolute bullshit, right, because I would have been dead otherwise. So they spit out lies all the time. So I don't believe them for a second. That's why if there's multiple sources, then I'll believe it.
Yeah.
But
I think the
I do think it's more likely though. I'll just say, I do think it's more likely though because the government will trust American owners a lot more than any others. So if they're going to sell to anyone, American owners is more likely what they'll go for because it's a sound. It's sound. There's not going to be any human or social issues.
Yeah,
So we gotta get to the point. So you guys are all right. So, what's the biggest goal for you guys from now to the end of the season?
As in Chelsea.
Yeah.
Consolidate third, but it's mainly win one of the two remaining competitions we're in.
Yeah, well.
Because as much as third is nice, third is not an achievement for me. For me, that's just second loser.
No, you got absolutely
exactly.
good standards, man.
That's the problem with Arsenal's fan base. We all set fourth as like a top four's a trophy, right?
Even no offense, but this isn't an Arteta or Arsenal stream.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not saying about Arteta or Arsenal. I'm just saying the difference in between standards.
It's like we
need to get the standards high.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like with the funny little Mikel Arteta chant that you kind of copied the Tuchel chant from us. But even in that, you went where Chelsea fans go, we're going to win the Champions League. Arsenal fans have now said we're on our way to the Champions League. It's like, come on, you've got to have a bit of a higher standard than that.
They don't have any high standards anymore. That's the problem.
No, so So I get that. Like, all right, so like the biggest thing for you guys have to get one trophy, right? At the bare minimum.
Yes, I would like one trophy at the bare minimum.
And
I do.
obviously, like,
I do
one-
think it's going to be hard to get a trophy because obviously both Man City and Liverpool are still in both competitions. But as I said, I'm not. I don't fear. I fear Man City a little bit. I don't really fear Liverpool. I think, as I've said, we've had the better of Liverpool in all the games we've played them. We've just been unlucky with either decisions or just silly mistakes at crucial moments. But I'm at the point I don't really fear anyone, and I think maybe this sanction saga at the moment, I almost feel like I was worried at first that the players wouldn't handle it well, but I almost look at it and think actually the players are. It's almost giving them that extra boost.
Yeah,
It's
you've
almost-
won 6-6 ever since
Yeah.
the
I
sanctions
almo-
happened.
Yeah, I almost feel it's that typical Chelsea versus the world, and actually for once I actually will take them odds.
Siege mentality.
No, you guys are mad professional. Like, I mean, Havertz came out and said like he's gonna actually pay for his travel and everything. Respect to the guy. I'll put it that
Yeah.
way. Like, I mean, Nippon, what do you
'cause,
think?
like,
Like,
20,
that's the
if
standard,
you
right?
think
Like,
about it,
win one trophy before the end of the season.
guys, if you think about it, 20 grand to go to all these games in Europe is fucking is cheap. You're talking like you can't afford any luxury hotels or anything
And
unless the
considering
players buy it themselves.
Yeah, and UEFA, one of the UEFA rules in terms of travel, they like you to be there the day before. So then, therefore, you have to stay at a hotel. But it's like with the quarterfinals, Chelsea are currently asking UEFA because obviously they had the trouble of Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid playing on the same day in the same city. They've actually asked if that could be available, so Chelsea could take a similar plane with Manchester City players
So
to
let me
make
ask
the
you.
cost
Let
cheaper.
me ask you one
That's
thing.
how
Like,
bad it's got.
so to get to that target, like, what's the biggest like position in your team that could be a weakness, not to not make it happen?
Scoring. So I'd say any one of the front three not performing because defensively, while we've been a little bit shaky, almost in recent months since Chilwell and Reece have gone, I still feel we are there in defensively at times, but it's always in games when we lose, it's always the attack that's let us down with big chances or the attacking creating good chances.
If you look at, I think that's probably why. If you look at in competitions, for example, right, your team is quite your team. But let's be honest, you've had 2 signings and you've hardly used them throughout the seasons. You've basically played with the same side Tuchel came in with, right, since when he took over Lampard, right. So it's still the same team from last season in the Champions League, right. Now, to be honest, in the Champions League, having the goals threat is so much better, but it's not the be all and end all. You look at Atletico Madrid, right? They drew 1-1 and won 1-0. Right? They didn't need to score 3 or 4 goals. In the Champions League, the defenses are so much better. You can have a sound defense and just having to score 1 or 2 goals, and that's what you did in when you won the Champions League. You won the Champions League by not outscoring everyone, which is what Man City would do, right? Usually, which is what some teams would do in the Premier League. You did it because you were sound defensively and scored the key goals that you need to get through.
By the way, we have to rate one more player, and then we can continue talking about football in general.
Is it Pulisic?
Yeah.
I think we can put him in there. I think that would be the suitable place to put him. Because he did just drop. I think I assume everyone else will agree with that. And then you might as well just put Timo Werner in dog shit while we're at it, because that's all he deserves.
It's so funny, like how you guys rate players.
Well,
because you guys have some like really good players, but like
No, no,
The
but it's
performance,
the
if it doesn't
standard.
match, you guys say it as is.
I mean,
It's the
we,
standard.
yeah, unfortunately,
it is
yeah,
standards.
unfortunately,
12, wait, there are 12 players in this. One of the players certainly didn't start.
Werner. But I just thought we put him in dog shit anyway, just to highlight how bad he was.
Okay. Yeah. To make an example, basically.
Yes, just to make an example.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, that you wouldn't get that like in other fan bases.
No,
Yeah, we
this
are
is
just
the
a
thing.
ruthless club, and unfortunately,
No,
that's what wins you
that's-
trophies.
Hang on, that's come, and that where that comes from is from Roman's ambition, right? As an owner, and this is why, as much as people might take the piss out of it now, I would have taken the 19 years with Roman Abramovich any day of the week. But if you compare it to Arsenal, I heard today like someone will give Lacazette a 6 for work rate. No, he's a striker. He's supposed to score goals. If he doesn't score goals and he's struggling to get even involved in the game, which he was, you give him a 2, and that's being generous. You give him a 2 or 3 because he's not doing his job, and that's
Anyway,
what Chelsea fans would do.
Anyway, let's
Because
get
of it-
let's
because
get
of
back to
standards.
Chelsea. Like the question I asked, like
God, I don't mind
Did you
talking
guys
about how
put
bad
the private
Arsenal
chat?
are. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's fine, Nippin. We can kind of talk until you come back.
oh.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, like I'll be honest. Like this is a great conversation because like it's the first time I got to like interact with like Chelsea fans since like I go on like QN TV every once in a while, and same thing. It's all love there, but like I'm getting a different perspective on Chelsea because like I feel like you guys want to win one trophy, right?
Sorry, before I go, I have to introduce Vaughan. The show. How are you doing?
I'm very well, Nippon. It's always a pleasure to join you on a
Oh
Saturday
man,
evening.
how you doing, bro?
Hi, Stephen, and Bargav, Melina, hello, and I'm sorry, I'm not calling
Hi.
Chelsea getting the Koreans.
Hey, we got like so you're a Man United fan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we got like a full panel here. So it's interesting.
Yeah, but
so-
I mean, it's a Chelsea. It's a Chelsea discussion. I've got like,
It's a Chelsea
I'm quite
discussion, yeah.
interested in like the Chelsea fans' view on a couple of things. The first thing is that do you think there's any chance of you finishing fourth, and not because of any kind of points or administration deduction?
No, not.
Well, you're not.
sorry.
You're not a Chelsea fan, Stephen.
I
Sorry,
think I don't see Arsenal overtaking us. I just think with Chelsea always work best when the world is against us, and when we're the underdogs. When we do have that siege mentality, and as you've seen now, since the sanctions come in, we've won every game. We've looked up for games. We've won the last 6 games, and yeah, I obviously we've got a 5 points buffer. We do have to play Arsenal, but at the same time, apart from West Ham, we don't have any of the big games.
What
we
are
have
your
a lot of the
fixtures
mid-table
then?
team.
Like for the rest of the season, what is it? Are there any like what are the difficult ones?
Let me get the fixtures up because I can't remember all the fixtures off the top of my head.
They've got to play us at some point.
Yeah,
I know we've got Bournemouth. We've got Brentford at home.
Easy.
Then
Easy,
we've got.
Mm.
I'll just go through the Premier League ones rather than the Champions League. Then we've got Southampton away. Which,
Easy.
if I'm honest, they're on
You
the
could
beach at
include
this
that
point.
to the Champions League because it might affect the actual Premier League results.
Yeah, I mean,
terms of fitness
in
and that.
between that, we've got the Real Madrid games in between the Southampton one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then we got Leeds away on the 17th of April.
That might be a tough one, you know. Like
It depends.
Leeds
'cause I think-
Chelsea is a very very big fixture.
Yeah, I mean, I am
Yeah.
looking at I do like Jesse Marsh, so I'm interested to see how
Why?
we play against him. I like the style of Jesse Marsh.
Did
I
you see
like
the Leeds game yesterday?
I didn't. I watched the highlights. I hate Leeds, and I have a massive agenda against them.
I
I
don't like
Leeds
I don't like
particularly either.
Leeds, but I do like Jesse Marsh.
I'm
No, he's
surprised
a
you
good
say
coach.
that.
He's a good coach. He's a good coach.
I don't think he is.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I have. I'm very sort of like German skeptical, And I mean, like, to sort of get it back to Chelsea, even when Tuchel arrived at Chelsea, he very, very quickly had to change his tactics. Like, because he started with a 4-2-2, didn't he?
No, he started 3 at the back straight away.
He did. Are you sure about that?
Yeah,
I mean,
because,
I bow to your knowledge on that, but I do know, like, Timo Werner, like, was his debut against Brighton?
in terms of for Tuchel or for
For just
can I
Chelsea?
ask for,
Yes.
were you saying that with about Klopp when he turned up at Liverpool?
Yeah, absolutely. Klopp had to learn the league.
Okay.
At
But what do you think of
100%.
him now?
What do I think of him now? Well, I
Yeah.
obviously hate Liverpool, and I think the Klopp should be in jail for what he did over COVID. But he's obviously he faked COVID tests. Like, that's not on. I think Klopp is. I mean, he reminds me of, like, the spirit of a Labrador stuck in a man's body. He did, but he didn't fake stuff. Look, Klopp is obviously a great manager, but my one issue that I have with his style of football is that he plays, like, we'll just call it the Gegenpress, but because of that, part of the philosophy is it needs to give up. You need to give up possession sometimes. And like, Gegenpress in general, or sort of like high block football, is normally played by teams on a budget trying to compete with, like, richer clubs. So I don't know how sustainable what they have at Liverpool is, especially when you sort of consider caffeine doping, which I believe they're off next year.
No, to be fair, I feel with Liverpool, the reason that I do feel Klopp does, despite his what, like, sometimes if he's moaning and his certain other things, like, but then the same thing is, like, Pep, you've seen his moaning about.
Right, okay,
like,
less moaning.
like
What are you talking about, Steve?
No, what I'm saying, look, what I'm saying is that despite that, he's managed to still, with probably not the same budget, keep up with Man City and make
absolutely brilliant. Yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant for Liverpool.
Yeah,
but he
otherwise
has been,
this would be a farmers
7
league
years
by now.
Is it 7 years he's been at Liverpool?
I think so, but what I'm saying is that it's.
Well, you know where I'm going with this, don't you?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I feel that it's you're gonna need someone who's probably the same ilk and that good to be able to replace him. It's not going to be like an easy fix.
Well, yeah, of course. It's like Ferguson or Mourinho or whatever. He's a legendary manager. Yeah, I mean, like, Salah was not a world-class player when he went to Liverpool. Mane wasn't. Yeah, like, he's a great coach, and I hate him, but I would chop my arm off to get him, like, United. But the second thing I wanted to ask Chelsea fans, this is something that has, like, intrigued me for quite a long time, because I think United are starting to do it, which is your loan system. It brings a huge amount of money into the club, and I'd like to know what your thoughts are on, not necessarily like losing Salah and De Bruyne and stuff like that, but sort of this almost like sort of like people trafficking ring that you have that nets a huge amount of money for the club.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think it's, obviously with the new loan rules, it's obviously not sustainable now, especially with the older players, Danny Drinkwaters of the world, the Bakayoko's, etc. But I do think it is good to have with the young players. Obviously, Chelsea, we do have a huge youth academy, and unfortunately, as much as we've got a number of talented young players in the squad at the moment, unfortunately, not every player is going to get in. And I find the best players that we have within the squad, the Mason Mounts, the Reece Jameses, they've all gone out on loan and proven themselves and then come back. You look at the Premier League at the moment, you've got Conor Gallagher doing really well at Crystal Palace. You've got Brozier, who's gone out to Southampton and played really well.
Talent.
I always kind of have a little dig at Callum all the time, because but my problem is I always feel he needs to go out.
Is that Hudson Odoi or another YouTuber?
Yeah, Hudson Odoi. Sorry.
Okay, I don't know how you know him on a first name basis. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I've always
Yeah,
talk
I know
about
what you
it,
mean.
But yeah, I always feel like he's needed a loan spell. My problem is all the whisperings around Chelsea is that he's not happy to go out on loan. Plus, he's on 120k thanks to his little contract debacle under the Sarri era. So it's hard to get him out on loan. But I think generally for the younger players, I think it is a really good tool to use, especially for a big academy that we have now. Otherwise, you do get the problem of you lose young players. But at least now Chelsea are almost taking advantage of buyback clauses, and what I call them is almost very long loan spells. For example, Livramento, we've got a buyback clause that activates in 2023. Should he play really well,
Do you think we are going to activate it?
I wouldn't be surprised if we do try it, because I think as long as he carries on the way he is, I think
he's a very good
very
player.
Well. And I think we do need a backup to Reece James, but we've not. While we've looked at left wing backs in terms of to get in the summer, we've not looked at right wing backs at all. So I feel like Chelsea may have that up their sleeve to have a look at in the future.
Who's the left back you're looking at? Is it Cucurella by any chance?
I think the last before
he'd be brilliant. I think at Chelsea.
The transfer kind of window stuff has kind of obviously gone off the cliff since the sanction stuff, because that's the last thing we're thinking about at the moment. But last time I heard it, Cucurella was kind of a very small link, but it was mainly Bernard Sosa from, I think it's Stuttgart, one of the German sides.
If he doesn't play in England, I don't know who he is.
Yeah,
to be perfectly honest.
I don't know who he is, but I think I've asked a lot of people that I know that watch Bundesliga week in, week out. They say he's good, but I do have a bit of a problem trusting German players coming over, considering how Timo Werner, Kai Havertz has been.
I believe, is the only player that hasn't had the Bundesliga tax. That his numbers, his stats, are still comparable to what he was pulling off in Germany.
Even then, I think he has struggled.
Yeah, he had somewhat of a tax, though.
Sorry, Stephen.
I just wanted to. I mean, the youth system like Chelsea have got a quality. I mean, you see them you see the under 18s. They're always up there trying to win the under 20s, under 18s, and title, even the under 23s. But the problem is it's not been known for Chelsea to bring youngsters through. It's only if you see with like the transfer ban was probably a good like the best opportunity for Hudson-Odoi, for Mason Mount to be able to break through. But most of the time they use it to sort of balance the books in some ways. So they would rather use their youngsters to sell high so they can then buy the big name players that they want. So
I do think
there's some there might be one or two that might be the exception. But usually most of them will then end up find themselves being sold on.
Hey, do you guys mind if I ask? Like, I have to go, like, because it's like dinner time here, and people are calling me. But I want to ask like one last question, because it's the one thing about Chelsea I always wanted to ask is all right. So what's the value of like a true striker? Because like I feel like you guys have a true number 9, right? And nowadays, like I feel like maybe the Prem is going away from this. Maybe the Prem is going away from this, but like
football's going away from strikers.
No, it's not.
General.
It's not
it
because
is.
like look at Aubameyang. Like I mean, they're making a number
9.
Aubameyang,
yeah.
So like it's not. I feel so. I had this debate with somebody like, what's the value of a number 9? And I said like, for the biggest of games, I feel like you need a true number 9. But nowadays,
yeah, I agree.
Who are the top 2 teams in the Premier League?
I think like you need like a false 9 striker in like the Prem, and that's just a trend because like City started it, and like somewhat like Liverpool's kind of like that too. But they're the false 9 is kind of is a bit different. So what do you guys think? Like, I mean, I feel like Lukaku's going to come good. In the biggest of games.
Not a chance.
He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it for Chelsea.
It's not possible.
Can I just make a point? He's going to do it He's gonna do it somewhere else. He ain't gonna
No,
do
I
it for
feel like you need a
Chelsea. There's
striker, though.
no way he's gonna do it for
I mean,
Chelsea.
look at
He's
look
already
at
made it
Champions League
clear.
last year. Like City, they did the one thing missing was a true number 9.
No, I'm sorry, the Bargav, their relationship's gone. Then no way
Yeah,
he's
it's
gonna do
done.
it.
It's done.
It's
Yeah.
done. He's not gonna do it for Chelsea. The relationship's dead. It's
All right,
dead
then
as a door
where's he?
now.
All right, so if not Lukaku, like, are you still going for a number 9 then?
He might go back to Italy. You never know. He might even go back to Italy.
I actually think Chelsea are actually going to look away from the number 9. I think we look at Kai Havertz. I think he is what is now going to be, I think, the modern number 9. Really, it's
Mhm.
So
it's not so much. It's not.
Nine.
It's not
He's
so much.
not
It's not
number
so
9,
much.
though.
It's not so much of a false 9 that is needed. It's someone who can be fluid within the front three. If you look at Liverpool, they're very fluid in the way they play. Man City, they're very fluid in the way they play.
They have freedom.
Chelsea
they
almost
freedom
now.
of the pitch, don't they?
Chelsea are almost trying to replicate that now. But obviously, there is when you do need to win a game, you could almost need almost a plan B. Every manager needs a plan B at that time, and that would be a more
Lukaku got you a
physical
trophy, though.
striker. I don't think Lukaku is the future. I actually think, as I mentioned before, we have Armando Broja, who is at Southampton at the moment. I really wouldn't be surprised if I think for what the wording of Tuchel said before, he wants to keep him at all costs, and I think he'll be used within the team as that kind of, because the thing with Broja is he's a big number 9, big, strong, physical, but he can move. He's not like Lukaku, who can't go more than 5 yards without panting with breath.
So is he
And
like
that's the thing. That's the thing with the Premier League. It's such a
Is he like
fast-paced league. You need to be fluid. You need to be quick movement. You need to be very reactive and have good anticipation.
Well, I don't think it's that necessarily that, Stephen. It's that, like, with sort of modern football, you're looking at working half spaces and playing in between defensive lines. And when you have, like, a traditional number 9, and, like, Chelsea, to be honest, have been extremely unlucky with their number 9s. Like, I think in the last 15 years, you probably have Costa, Drogba,
Anelka, you could say as well.
Costa,
was it okay? Yeah, Anelka, but like you can just go through like Morata, Torres, like Lukaku. You can go through all these like great number 9s that just didn't work out at Chelsea. But you can also go through the league as well and find more and more of them, because like the point of modern day football is to create overloads and numerical supremacy. And what happens with a number 9 is they get pinned centrally. And it actually means that your team has essentially less players on the pitch because they're not able to fill into areas, which is why Pep and Klopp, and to be honest, like Klopp's attacking football, like is much more wild than Pep's. It's far more fun to participate in and watch. But for me, I think that the number 9, you can see it pretty much everywhere. It's going out of business because, like, if you have a guy whose only job is to score goals or to lead the line, it's quite easy to shut it down. You just have players.
But listen, it should be on the. All right, so like Tuchel's like a wonderful coach. I've said this last year. Like,
he's what?
He got to experiment with the best players in every formation. You got to play with like Neymar, like Mbappe, and like the best.
Hang on, one at a time, lads. Like Bargav.
But what I'm saying is, like, listen, like with number 9. The way with number 9 is, like, I feel like if you give him service in the biggest of games, he's gonna come good.
Is that Chelsea, just genuinely how you feel about number 9s?
I feel like with Chelsea, I feel like the link up isn't there, and it might be because you guys didn't have a preseason.
All right, but right,
I don't think so. I don't think that. To be honest.
Has Lukaku and Werner been missing a lot of chances as a number 9?
Werner has, Lukaku not so much. I just don't think Lukaku's had the chances nor done much in the game. I mean, there was a game.
Is the link up on him or on the wide players?
I think it's a bit of both. I think there's been opportunities where you've seen passes which haven't been made, which you could go, well, in hindsight, they should have passed to him at that point. But at the same time, Lukaku is simply not doing enough himself also to get himself in the game.
Go
I
on,
also
Steve.
just want to say the thing with if in the biggest of games you might think if he gets the service he's going to come good. Well, in the biggest of games, the teams are just going to mark him out and isolate him, right? Because they're that good, and they can do that because they've got defenses that are that good. That's why in the Champions League, he will struggle in those big games because you've got defenses that are good enough to be able to isolate him out. Atletico Madrid, if they played Atletico Madrid, for example, they just isolate him out. They'll isolate him,
Well, I think they'd
because
cut
they
the
know if they mark him
supply.
out, they can easily mark him out again.
I
But
think
I
they'd cut the
just wanted to
service to
say
him.
the whole what you said earlier when I was mentioning about the pace of the league.
Mhm.
I get what you mean with Vaughan. I just feel with the Premier League, you do have to do all that what you were saying, but you have to do it a lot quicker than most other leagues, and that's where lies a problem when you have a number 9 that's a much slower or not as quick.
Well, there's been a lot of
As
number 9s that are slow that have done it in the league. Like, even at
if
sort
you
of
give the
lower
right
ranked
service
teams
to
like
him,
Michu.
but it depends how you play. If you play, so you've got a numerous amount of players, you've got the wingers, you play him as a target man, you've got the 2 wingers, and you've got the attacking midfielder who can he can quickly use that space to be able to give him the service, then it will work out. But if you haven't got a one that creates chances quick enough, then they become very isolated.
Yeah, I think number 9s being isolated is a good point. But like, I'm actually quite interested. Nippon, are you here?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
here.
glad I could so do this tonight because my
Have you?
mum's away. So I
Okay.
got all night.
Nippon, have you completely written off Werner?
No.
No.
I have.
Yeah, I got the feeling that you have after you put him in dog shit, like despite hardly playing. I think Werner would be
I thought
pretty
he was
good
doing
at a
well.
lot of clubs.
The problem with Werner is there are certain things that he is good at, but the technical ability. I've never seen a footballer so technically bad in my life. Honestly, we people moaned about Lukaku's first touch, but Werner cannot control the ball. He cannot dribble the ball. He can barely pass the
Really?
ball at times. There are so many. Honestly, you could find so
Okay.
many times
Yeah,
where
yeah.
he has zero technical ability, and honestly, I really don't understand how he got so far in this game. I just
Fucking hell.
see him as obviously the problem is I have a really bad light in terms of Bundesliga players because the defending is so poor, and you just see the goals Werner's scoring, and it's as Major General N'Golo Kante sometimes. There was a time Werner literally tackled himself, and it's just ridiculous. Honestly, sometimes it's ridiculous to watch. And it's
Can I ask?
it's almost as if he's got worse this season. Like, at least last season he was racking up some assists, but now he's just not even racking up, and he doesn't look bothered anymore. There's been the last few games where he's hesitating going into challenges. He's 1-on-1 with the keeper, and he's hesitated going in for 50-50s now.
So who would you play as your front men then? Like for you personally?
Right now, it's Pulisic on the left,
Yes.
Ziyech on the right, and then Havertz up front.
Right, and where is Mount not getting in this, or
See, the moment I don't think Mount gets in the front three. The thing is, with Mount this season, while his GNA looks on paper good, he's been very much of a moments player this season. In moments, he's picked up his assist or picked up his goal, and then he's like Casper the Ghost for the rest of the game in terms of
really?
on the
'Cause
ball.
I've always thought he's fantastic at leading a press. Like one of the best in the league, him and Henderson.
You are a person who rates Harry Winks.
Yes.
So I can't take that.
What's your point?
Like he's doing an ad hominem argument where because I think Harry Winks is a good football player, it means that none of my other opinions have any credence to Nippon. But I do rate Harry Winks. Yeah.
The thing is with Mount is his general off the ball work, his pressing, it's always been good. There's no anyone doubting that is a bit stupid. But the problem is, and this is the big difference between now and last season, is that Kai Havertz and even Hakim Ziyech, players that at times Chelsea fans last season were calling lazy, but now they've Tuchel's really worked with him, and they are now both. If you watch Kai Havertz, he is now really pressing with the ball, and he's sometimes maybe he's not doing it as well as a team.
So,
But that will come.
The Daily Mail tells a lot of lies.
I told you. I told you. I said to you. I just said earlier. Right? They made up some bullshit about my liver surgeon. Right? Taking 20 grand over a European patient instead of a UK patient. Right? It was a load of bollocks because otherwise I would have been dead. So, they make up lies just to suit their own end, suit their own agenda.
To be honest, from what the guys posted, it does sound quite credible. Like Rishi Sunak.
If it's notable sources, then I'm credible. Then I'll take it. I don't. But if it's not, if it's just the Daily Mail, then I won't listen to it.
I personally can't see. I can't see like any kind of like country that is engaged in some pretty dodgy wars, like what's going on in Yemen. I think they chopped off over 80 people's heads last week. I can't see anyone connected with Saudi Arabia getting anywhere near like Chelsea.
I think the problem is I think the problem is they've already given Newcastle that benefit of the doubt. So if you give it would be very hypocritical to go yes for Newcastle, no for Chelsea, but also because in terms of this oil fuel crisis, we are obviously everyone's wants to be less reliant on Russian oil, which is fine. And I completely understand that. But everyone is now crawling to the Saudis to increase their oil supply so that global prices can come down. And naturally, the UK will take their reliance of that 8% that we were reliant on Russia towards Saudi Arabia. So
I think it's more likely.
The problem.
Saudis.
Sorry?
The problem.
I think new owners will be Saudis.
I don't think so. Like there's more to OPEC than the Saudis, and also they want our guns. Like it's not necessarily about football clubs; it's about selling arms.
The problem is, there
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, we
can I just make?
Hello.
Yeah, the other part I was going to make as well with the whole ownership thing is that.
Hi. I think my problem with the whole Saudi deal that's going on at the minute is.
Daniel, you're cutting out.
Okay.
I think the whole problem with the Saudi deal at the minute, UK government are allies. They're going to be allies because.
It's like trying to listen to a broadcast from the past.
Yeah. Can I was going to say.
Yeah.
The problem with the Saudi deal, the problem is, and the reason I think they wouldn't, the reason they might not risk it is because, and I put it in this way, because they can't. How do I put this? They can't run the risk of something like this happening again. Plus, also with they've had so much press. You see, a lot of fans have responded to saying, if you're punishing Chelsea, why not you punishing Newcastle and all these other clubs? So, if they sold it to a bunch of Saudis, the look towards the Premier League and maybe even the government looks even worse, and it could be a PR disaster. Right? That's the only problem. But I think they might try and ride it and take it on the chin.
I think the problem is in terms of the Saudi Arabia at the moment, the UK government do have a big contract in terms of, as you said, military arms.
Yeah.
So I think there is too many deals going on, and if anything, you could argue that means we're funding the Saudi-Yemen war, really. With them,
we're contributing it. We're contributing to it.
So
they're funding
I think therefore the government can't really have a say in terms of saying for or against Saudi Arabia when they're causing these exact problems themselves by funding them anyway. And that's why I always said when Roman was originally sanctioned, I don't disagree with the sanctions. I do disagree with how serious they are in terms of they're not affecting Putin or Abramovich that much.
Wow.
But they're affecting in terms of fans and club members, staff members that have currently been temporarily laid off. There are certain parts of the sanctions that are just completely out of order. For example, the whole ticket selling. You've got currently the government have said that prize money, etc., that we win or collect in the next few months, that will be held in an account, and we'll get that naturally when the ownership is done, and that will be filled over to us eventually. But my problem is, well, why can't you do that with stuff like ticket sales? Or even then, if you don't want to sell tickets, that's fine. But Chelsea have offered that we'd give them tickets away for free on a ballot basis to the members that are currently signed up to the club, because obviously there's a lot of people that have paid at least £20 to be a member.
You know why?
Can I just make a point? Is that I can't see why they can't give ticket sales and then just keep the money on the hold. So
that's my point. If you can do that,
what is the point of the sanctions?
Why is it the fans now have to suffer and not go to games when they could quite easily to sell the ticket, keep the money in a separate account, right? That's only controlled by the government, right? And say you get this money from the ticket sales once we sell the club, right? And in that way, fans can go to their games, right? And we don't have to, and the fans don't have to suffer. They're suffering enough as it is.
I mean,
what do you think the point of the sanctions on Chelsea are?
Well, what do you mean? The government's aim, or what is actually happening?
What is the aim?
The tickets should never have been sold in the first place. Once the sanctions, they should have been given away.
No, the whole point is to get Abramovich out of like our footballing fabric, and they will make the fans suffer to do it.
But the problem is, it's not like if Abramovich wasn't selling up or wasn't considering selling up, I'd completely understand what you mean. But we were already in the process of selling up. Maybe it might have not been to the
well,
right
you weren't,
buyer.
were you? You'd been touted about, but there was no.
There was bids coming in. It might not have gone as fast as it has now, but it was in the process of happening.
Yeah, but it's like those bids are like I'm not a Chelsea fan, but I believe that a lot of them were dependent on renewing land around Stamford Bridge and a lot of guarantees Abramovich wanted. And now, like what the sanctions have done is they've completely removed any power from him. Like it's been taken away, and the government's selling the club.
I mean, no, it's still the same in terms of there at the moment. Obviously, there is a certain bid price that is wanted, but there is still the idea that they're looking at who wants to build a stadium, who wants to develop in the club, who wants to run the club in the right way. There, because it's not strictly the government is not really. They will give the okay to whoever is recommended.
Is Rishi not overseeing it?
No, there's an American company called the Rain Group.
Yeah.
That are taking control of the cell. They're doing the whole business, and then I think either Rishi or someone in the government will give the okay to whoever they recommend as the accepted bidder. So it's the government will give the final okay, but the whole going through and dealing which buyer should be done over another will be done by the Rain Group, which was Roman Abramovich was using before the sanctions came in anyway.
But this is the thing, and as much as we say about the sanctions and all of it, I feel that as much as these sanctions, and look, I've had my little banter about it as a rival, but in the end, I don't like watching fans suffer, and I don't feel Chelsea's fans, as much as they can be annoying at times. Trust me, they could be fucking annoying. But like in the end, I don't like seeing Chelsea fans. I don't like seeing any fans suffer over their club, in this way.
I like seeing Leeds fans suffer.
But especially when, well, Tottenham may be an exception, but it's only when, and I put this like this for example, and we could have been wrapped up in this situation if Usman had bought the club, by the way, back in 2016. But in the end, fans don't have to. There's an easy way to avoid the fans having to suffer what they're suffering right now of not going to games and barely
Yeah, but that makes the
attending games
sanctions
and
less effective.
But that's the
well, it doesn't
my
really, because the
Well,
Chelsea
it
will
does
still be
because there's less
fucked without.
there's less people in the
No,
stadium.
because if it
There's a
but if we
bigger
don't sell,
optical effect.
no, but what I know, but what I've just said, what we just said about the ticket sales, for example, and keeping the money separate, and so it doesn't go to Chelsea, so that means it doesn't go to Abramovich. It means the club's still fucked anyway, right? But at least the fans aren't fucked, and they can still go to their games.
Yeah, no, I understand
I
that, but the point of the sanctions is to force a sale as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I
I
agree
still
it's
think
unfair on the fans,
I think
but they'll
Abramovich will
survive.
still sell. I know, but I think the fans would still. Abramovich will still have to sell. In the way I was thinking, what I was saying now is where the ticket sales and the way you deal with that. That Abramovich would still have to sell the club because Chelsea are fucked. Right? They can't. They need the money, and they can't get the money from Abramovich. They can't get it from anywhere else. So the only option he's got is to sell the club because otherwise the value is going to fall for the floor.
Yeah, but it
right?
expedites the sale of the club if fans can't go and watch the football. It is
I
a
don't think it's
sensible
necessary.
tactic.
I know, but I don't think it's necessary tactic.
My question is, yes, okay, maybe you don't want to charge tickets, but giving away free tickets for free to members who, bearing in mind, there are members who have already paid memberships that are now theoretically they're not getting their money's worth of the membership because the membership is for the whole season, not for.
Is this like the United one? It's about like 30 quid, and you get like a ballot for tickets.
Yeah, you get you'd have different levels of membership all the way up to season tickets. But my point is, the club were going to do that on a ballot basis, so certain members get certain amount of ticket, like maybe one or two games the rest of the season. Which that's no exchange of money, and then it means fans can enjoy it. But the government even rejected that, and there was even a point yesterday. We had a memorial at Stamford Bridge for one of our goalkeepers, Peter Benetti, that died last year.
Yeah.
We were halfway through selling tickets for that memorial when the sanctions come in, and we were not even allowed to sell or give away any tickets for that, which I found was deeply insulting to Peter Benetti, deeply insulting to Chelsea Football Club, and deeply insulting to the Chelsea fans that wanted to go see him.
I'm sorry for.
No sanction.
Why is it a year and a half later?
I don't know why it's only a year and a half later, but this was, I suppose it depends. I don't know. It depends on the family or what's gone on.
Right.
But it's been planned for a while. I suppose maybe it's getting the right date, right time in it.
But even so, that's just wrong.
And even there's another.
Wasn't the money for that game going to go to the family or something like that? Was it?
It wasn't really a game. It was kind of. I think they end up spreading the ashes on Stamford Bridge pitch, but it was kind of the money was supposed to go to again Peter Benetti's family. But yeah,
so,
I mean,
so Abramovich wasn't going to gain anything from that anyway. No. So what was that's wrong.
It beats me. And I mean, there's another situation as well with the Chelsea women's team. One of our players, Melanie Leupolz, she's recently she's pregnant. My assumption with how the contract was, I assume it was unplanned because there was currently nothing in the contract for maternity. But the issue was we were currently halfway through negotiating maternity pay before the sanctions come down. Now, currently, we're still not allowed to even negotiate her maternity contract. So currently, I know obviously that she does have probably enough money to deal with it, but she cannot. We can't even give her maternity pay because it's technically a new contract, and that's another thing I find incredibly disgusting. Because that is a basic right to be for a woman to be able to have maternity and have paid maternity leave. I know, again, women footballers, they don't. Let's be honest, they don't earn as much as men footballers. It's not like they can completely shelve the cost. So I hope, I pray that Melanie obviously she
It should
has
at least
enough money
some of them don't
saved
even
there.
earn half.
Yeah, I mean, I hope she has enough money saved or something there that she can rely on. But I think it's incredibly disgusting. Again, at that situation, you can't make
her teammates will help
an
her out in
exception.
Look,
her
to be
teammates will help
honest,
her out in that situation.
all this is very unfortunate for the families of Peter Bonetti and the lady that you've just mentioned, but it's absolutely necessary to sanction like Abramovich and to force the sale of the club. And these are not problems that have come from the government. These are problems that have come from your ownership. Their ties to the Russian government and their exploitation of like Russian natural wealth. Like, and I do feel sorry for like the family of Peter Bonetti and this woman. But this is what your club is built upon.
I get that, but
it has to stop. And all these people that are suffering, they're suffering because of the actions of your owner. They're not suffering because of the government. Don't forget that.
I get that, and trust me, I get that, and we all, and trust me, like you won't find like any.
You're an Arsenal fan. Okay, yeah.
As much as you say yes to that, and I totally agree with it. It's got to do with the actions of the owner, right? And where the money's coming from, and his linked to Putin and everything. Go and see that. I don't deny that. But for certain aspects like maternity pay and again, not even a
there
game.
There can be no exceptions.
It's the memorial. Like there needs to be some like come on. Like
there can be no exceptions.
Common sense.
I mean,
they keep telling us use common sense about freaking COVID.
It's unfortunate, but there cannot be any exceptions.
But the thing is that is giving a maternity pay to a female player really gonna make a difference to the club being sold and the club not being sold?
No, of course it isn't. But you still can't make any exceptions.
And
you talked about it being a basic right or something. If it was a basic right, it would have been included in her previous contract.
No, but obviously
But I don't know why it was not in that.
Which is that her previous contract still being honoured?
Yes.
Okay.
But so, I mean,
that kind of proves it, really, doesn't it? That like you're not allowed to give out new contracts. You're not allowed to make any commerce. Like those are the rules of the situation that you've been landed in, and you have been landed in it. But it's become of your own. Where is the proof that Roman's with Putin? What an extraordinary question.
Are you fucking? Who said that?
I think he's joking. I think he's joking.
No, he better not. He better be.
Stephen, I think he's joking. Like, he can't be serious. But
he
I
think
honestly. It's terribly. It's a terrible shame for like Chelsea Football Club is a great football club, and it's part of the fabric of London. Like, I believe is it the Rising Sun where it started, that pub?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I'm a massive fan.
The pub's name, which is now called Kona Kai.
Yeah, it has recently changed.
Well,
it was recently.
To be fair,
it's
like one, for example, if you mention it into another sport, like people could sit there and say, well, why is it Mazepin's been dropped from his F1 team, for example?
What?
He's got nothing to do with it. But in the end, it's like, I'm sorry, his father's got links to Putin, so is the team sponsor, so they've got to be cut. And the same with the Russian Grand Prix, it's got links to Putin, it's got to be stopped. And it's the same with the Russian athletes in athletics. You find it in anything at the minute. They've got to have a wide ban on the whole system. It's the only way diplomatically you're going to stop without causing another war.
Are you agreeing with the sanction? I don't understand your point.
No, I agree with the sanctions that have been put on Chelsea, but I just feel like I just had that like for certain situations, no
exceptions, Stephen.
Like I know that.
Good. I'm glad we agree.
I know. I'm saying I'm not disagreeing with you. I just feel I still have a big compassion for certain situations, like attending basically like a funeral.
It is. It's very unfair on the fans, and like You know, you think to like great football clubs like, I don't know, Rangers, Derby, and how like their fans have sort of like had to go through essentially liquidations. They've seen traditions and
Well,
things
Rangers had
eroded.
to go to the bottom of their own league, didn't they?
They had to start a
And
new
that's
football club essentially legally.
Mm.
Shout out to Martin Bain. But yeah, and it's like I'm not gonna lie, like there's quite a lot of from a United point of view, there's quite a lot of people who want to go for Tuchel, and think that he can be got. I
I don't think
personally,
he will.
well, I just don't. I don't think that my football club should be like, I don't know, like asset stripping Chelsea. To be honest, it's not who we are.
I just frankly think that Tuchel,
Tuchel
unless
won't
it
do
gets
that to
really
them.
bad, I think he'll stay.
Yeah.
He
it.
does. He does appear to be under a lot of pressure from a clip that I saw, where he was constantly being asked about the crisis in Ukraine.
I
He's
think
just
I
like,
don't know why
"Lads,
they're asking that.
I don't think he doesn't need to answer that. It's not
Why has he
something for
got
him
to answer that? He's not a diplomat. He's not a fucking diplomat. He's not a politician.
Well, you
Like,
know
he's a
why
fucking
he's got to
football
answer it,
manager.
because his
No, he
employers
doesn't
have
have to
been
answer that.
sanctioned under
I know,
like
but he doesn't have.
measures for
I know,
it.
but he does. But he doesn't. He needs to. No, what he needs to do is a man. I get that, but he needs a manager. In the end, his job is to make sure that team goes out and plays 110%.
Yeah, that they
every
represent
game.
Chelsea Football Club, of which
Yeah,
he has to
he
as
just-
well.
I know
The
that, but
the
like,
problem is I just
the
see
whole point of the whole like the war with Ukraine. Yes, it's affecting Chelsea Football Club. He doesn't have to answer this every single bloody press conference. He had to mention it once when it first came out, and that's it. He doesn't have to be put under pressure because of what's happening outside of his control. It's outside of his control. What's he supposed to do? Right?
Well, he
The
is being
manager.
paid by someone with very, very strong links to it. It's a perfectly
Yeah,
reasonable
but
question.
he's a manager at the end of the day.
the problem is
he's just got to do it and go on the pitch.
Yeah, go on, Matt.
The problem is he
Right.
gets it's fine if you want to ask the question once, and Tuchel. To be fair, Tuchel has. It's not like he's gone no comment. If he's gone
So you're
no
not
comment, then I
against
can
it in principle. It's about the frequency of the question.
It's just that he keeps
Yeah,
going.
that's
Oh,
what
they
I'm
keep going
saying.
on.
Yeah, he keep
There was
asking
one.
it all
There was
the
one
time.
time they literally asked the same question that he literally
Yeah.
just asked.
Yeah,
in just a
that's-
very different
yeah.
way, and it,
Yeah.
it gets to the point where this is
That's what I'm
at the
saying.
end of the day. This is a football press conference. This is not a press conference about the sanctions. This is a press conference about
Or the war.
This is a press conference about Chelsea versus whoever they're playing.
Yeah.
Like, it gets to the point with media nowadays. All I find is you get one question about team news, and then it's about what controversy they want to pick up. They're almost waiting for Tuchel to slip up on this, but not being funny. As Tuchel said, he's not qualified to talk about sanctions. He's not qualified to talk about what Roman has or has not done.
No,
So I think
to be fair, man, it's like with
he is fully in his right not to want to answer that question. And
Man,
I
it's like
got
with
to
all-
I got to a point because obviously with Premier League managers they have to attend a press conference.
Yeah.
So
In the end,
if it gets
Just
if it-
one,
if it-
just
if it
one,
get-
one
if it
second,
get-
lads. One
Go on.
second.
Sorry.
I just want to
Sorry.
address something that Sasuke Ichiya put in the chat. I'm very sorry if I've mispronounced that. No one at any point has said that Roman Abramovich wanted to start a war with the Ukraine. What
Who
we've
said
said
that?
is that exactly you're having an argument with an imaginary person. But
Yeah.
you've also said, where's the proof that Roman's with Putin? Google, my friend, will
Google.
answer quite a lot of your questions here. I can't be bothered to go into it, but there is an incredibly strong link between Roman Abramovich and the Kremlin that has gone back over 20
I've heard he
years.
was even his brother-in-law. I swear to God.
Well, I don't think that. I don't
No, I don't
necessarily think
I
that's
think
true.
it's
But
maybe I'm wrong.
start with who built Sochi Palace. There you go, Suzuki. And Nippon, that's an extraordinary name that you've given yourself.
Can I also just ask as well? Is
Is that what you've been working
it's
on?
it's like with all modern press conferences these days. It's like when the England squad's announced, and for example, I'm just doing another example here. Like they're immediately asking Arteta, who by the way has never done international football as a player. You're asking him something completely different, and like "Oh, how did Smith Rowe take the news of not being selected?" And I'm like, "Go ask Smith Rowe, right? It's got fuck all to do with Arteta. He's here to talk about the game. He's not here to talk about Smith Rowe's frigging being dropped by the England squad, right?"
This is why I rate
missing out.
Jose, because Jose, you ask him anything. Do you remember that time he went on about the bird flu in like 2004? Like
No
that
wonder
is.
some of these managers go like, "What the fuck are you on about? Seriously?"
Like there's a point where someone said that it gets to the point where Tuchel was fully in his right to turn up to the press conference, ask one question, and then say thank you. That is the press conference done, and walk out, because that is officially, by the bare minimum of the rules, attending the press conference. If the questions are going to be like that, then that's what's going to happen, because it's just ridiculous. I mean, if we're going to go into other clubs, currently Eddie Howe is facing the same problem. Keeps being asked
that
about
is a
Saudi
legitimate
owners.
question, surely.
It's just like, again, he doesn't obviously.
But that's where his money comes from. That's who pays for him and the club. He takes that money.
Yeah, but he's not qualified to talk about what they have and have not done. He does not. I very highly doubt that Eddie Howe knows categorically what so and so done in his board have done at certain points.
So do you not think it should be put to him so he does categorically know, and he can therefore give his opinion on his paymasters?
I mean, if you really want to, but again, this is a football press conference. This is not
It's not trying to recreate the vibe between the freaking club and the manager.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's part of football, because you're being sports watched.
I know, but it's trying to create drama
clubs.
Out of nothing.
Out of nothing?
It's what it's doing. It is.
Out of nothing, Stephen? Are you really? Are you sticking with that? Out of nothing?
No. What I'm saying is that why is the drama? Why are you having to like?
Football is human drama.
No. What I'm saying is that like there's certain things they have to address, right? There are certain things they have to address, but having to keep banging on about it so they then slip up, like, there's no need for it. There really isn't. There is
a need for it. It's in the public
interest. Not every
interest.
single press conference. Yeah, but not for every single press conference. We know
when
what's
there's
happening.
a war and mass beheadings going on, I can't
I
think
know,
of like a
but
more apt time to ask. He's not like asked. It's not been asked about like, what do you think about the Crimean War?
Apart from,
or was the Maginot Line did it need an extra man?
What's he meant to? Yeah, but what's he meant to say apart from we know it's wrong and we condemn all of it? Right?
Is that what he
said?
said?
What is he supposed to say? Well, as far as I know, like I don't watch Tuchel's press conferences, but I'm sure that's probably what he said. I don't watch Tuchel's press conferences. I'm not a Chelsea fan, but I'm sure if I was his manager, I would say the same thing. I would say that what's going on in Ukraine is totally unacceptable, and we don't stand again.
So that's the answer that you would expect to have been given, yeah?
By a Tuchel, right?
Matt,
and
what
I
was
said,
the actual answer?
Basically, what I would have done is what I'd expect him is to come out and make a statement to say we do not accept what's going on in Ukraine. Right, we completely condemn what's going on.
Stephen.
No,
okay.
but that's what I expect.
That's what you expect, Matt or Nippon. Can you tell us what Tuchel said when he was asked these questions?
I'm just trying to get the actual quotes up now. Did
he say anything of the sort that Stephen has suggested?
I mean, he has in a very PR way, not as blatant as that.
Mm-hmm.
But he has said that his thoughts are with the people of Ukraine. That he doesn't agree with the actual war itself, but he obviously does not mention about Abramovich, which I think is unfortunately.
I'm fairly sure Abramovich doesn't agree with the war as well.
Yeah, of course, Abramovich.
Yeah, he doesn't agree with it either.
Yeah. That is the point we will have to make. Whether there has been dealings with Abramovich and so in the past. What people don't know is his mother.
Can I just make a point? What I said, if I said something earlier that makes it sound like that I'm wrong, that's not what I was meant to come out as. Just to make that point.
What? What are you saying?
No, I think there's something there earlier that I just meant, like I said, like about what
make
I
it
was
amount
previously saying.
out of nothing.
Yeah.
Mate, no one thinks. No one's thinking
that
that
wasn't
way.
meant to be. That wasn't meant
no
to
one
be
thinks
like
that
this
of
is
what you've-
nothing. Like
yeah.
I'm obviously I.
Yeah,
Right,
no one
I just
thinks
want to
that,
make that
Stephen.
clear.
It's fine.
I just want to feel is that there's some stories like you see with us or with any other club. They like the media try and make
a
like,
mountain out of a
you
molehill.
see,
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. Matt.
Yeah, so obviously he did kind of go down the PR way in terms of saying that he disagrees with the war, but not exactly saying that he disagrees with not saying that put it on Abramovich himself. But eventually, obviously, that was obviously the first question. Then after he got it asked, I think 3 or 4 times in the same press conference, he then said obviously a kind of a bit more of an emotional comment of listen, you have to stop. I'm not a politician. You have to stop. Honestly, I can only repeat it once. And I even feel bad to repeat it because I've never experienced war. So even to talk about it, I feel bad because I'm very privileged. I sit here in peace and I do the best I can. But you have to stop asking me these questions. I have no further answers for you.
I like Thomas Tuchel.
Which I think is fair enough because that is
he's German as well.
You've asked it. He's answered the questions in the best way he can. But at the same time, it's not his question to answer. He's just unfortunate the person in the fire line, and I think that's a bit of an emotional answer, but I think it's a great answer to put because
is he a Chelsea man?
It's politely asking just to stop.
I mean, I think he's the most Chelsea man that I've seen at this club in a long while.
What, since Lampard?
I mean, no, but Lampard obviously is proper Chelsea and all that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you go to if you look at people like Sarri, even Conte to an extent.
Conte you must see him as a Chelsea. I suppose he's at Tottenham now, yeah.
But I mean, he's a passionate manager, but he did. I mean, in his second season, just because he didn't agree with the board, he did just let the club suffer. I mean, but the stuff Tuchel's had to go through within this side, and not once has he ever buckled and gone, you know what, screw this.
Yeah.
He's always been.
He's stayed loyal, and even now he's staying. Yeah. He's so far staying loyal.
Look at Sarri. There was one transfer ban, and Sarri was like, "I'm gone."
Is that what happened?
But he wasn't happy with some of the backing he had, and then the transfer ban coming, he was like, I can't deal with a transfer ban.
Can I just also say as well with Tuchel, and I do applaud him for this, as far as I know, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this one, is that so far, and unlike where probably Sarri, he would have probably gone, no, I can't deal with this, I'll probably go. Like he's already come out and said that, like, I'm committed to Chelsea at the minute, so I'm staying with Chelsea despite what's going on. Like, and
what would you expect him to say?
Contract. Well, no, some managers could have quite easily walked out by then. Some managers, like, said, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm going by mission already, right? But he stayed loyal to the club for now. So and it has happened in the past where some managers have just gone, no, going bye.
Like who?
Well, you had Sarri for example with the I think that, and I think there's also with the fact there was power play with the player power as well. You saw the incident in the Carabao Cup final as well, right? And they didn't really back him over it, for example.
Even Conte was effectively just trying to get himself sacked.
Yeah, was it the Costa text messages?
That kind of was the start of the ball just rolling. But it just got worse and worse, and eventually he almost made the club suffer.
Very strange because he seemed a match made in heaven for Chelsea. Like I've always thought Diego Simeone would be another good sort of Chelsea manager, but Conte, you'd think, is the one.
I just think the board messed up with not backing him at all. I mean, you look at I think is it Nippon, am I right? It's 16-17 window, the one that It was honestly some of the worst signings I've ever seen. This is the
Who was
likes
it?
of
Is it Danny Drinkwater?
this is the likes of Danny Drinkwater,
Yes,
Bakayoko,
Oh no!
Barkley. I'll get
I'll
up
put a
the
message.
window. I'll get up the window 1 second. But
Okay, no problem, Sniffin.
it's honestly absolutely
I'm
terrible.
glad I caught this show, to be honest, because my mum and sister are in London for the evening, so I can talk as loud as I want.
But yeah, I think the best signing there was in that window happened to be Olivier Giroud.
I really rated him as a striker, like for Chelsea. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, we weren't too sure.
Well, obviously, yeah.
But it worked. It came to be the one that actually worked out. Right, it wasn't 16-17 because that was when we signed Kante. So that's obviously not that one.
17-18?
17-18 probably.
So, and these are all Conte signings then? Like Ross Barkley?
These were, as far as we know, some were on the list, but almost if you would class the C, D, E options.
Yeah.
We always had Conte had his A, B options, which were not used, not bought at all. So
do you remember who they were?
So we had people like Alexandro that we wanted. Who else did we? Originally Conte wanted Lukaku, and instead we got Morata. Originally, I think it was people like Barella. I can't remember some of the other options that we were linked with at the time. But yeah, I've got the window up now. So we had obviously Morata for 60 million, Bakayoko for 36 million, Danny Drinkwater for 34 million.
You can't be serious.
Rudiger for 31 million, which is the one that has eventually worked out.
That was a good signing, yeah.
That was their arguably the only A option that Conte got. Then we have Davide Sappacosta for 22 million.
He was all right, wasn't he?
He scored one goal, but apart from that,
okay,
average at best. Emerson for 18 million. Giroud
for
the
15. Left back?
Yes.
Emerson the left back?
Yeah.
How much?
18.
Okay.
But Giroud for 15 and Ross Barkley for 15.
You got him for a steal.
It's a decent price actually for Ross Barkley, to be fair.
But that was
Matt, you're saying his name wrong. His name is Dross Donkey.
But the only reason we got him for 15 million is because he was injured at the time as well.
Oh, that's a Podolski move.
Yeah, he originally was going to be off. We were originally going to get him for 50 million.
50?
Who's that?
Yeah, Barkley.
He was a very good player at the time.
He was all right at the time. I mean, at the time,
you got Giroud for a steal as well.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was good. That was a good move. That was I think that was in January though. The summer was just dreadful.
We undervalued him big time.
But even the people we got rid of, at that time we got rid of Diego Costa. We obviously sold Matic to United. Which the thing is about that one, that the worst part of that was the plan of action for Conte was that he'd bring in Bakayoko, but Matic would stay for another year, and that Bakayoko would almost learn the trade over Matic and then succeed in the year after.
I was delighted with signing Matic.
Obviously,
I couldn't believe you let us have him.
Obviously, Chelsea board had other ideas. We then, Bakayoko was forced. Bearing in mind, we also bought Bakayoko injured as well. And he was forced obviously into it. And then the replacement effectively for Matic was Danny Drinkwater.
That's extraordinary.
To be
fair, Joss Drinkwater.
I mean, Danny Drinkwater was the same player that, his two not highlights, but his two down moments at Chelsea was he got
injured. Didn't he stamp on a 16-year-old or something?
Yes, he broke a 16-year-old Tottenham player's legs.
Go on, lad.
One minute 16 seconds into an under 17 youth match.
Why is he doing an under 17 youth match?
Not under 17, under 23. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that's a bit of anger, isn't it, from Mr. Drinkwater? But
and then the other moment for him was while he was out on loan at Burnley, he got in a fight at a club while he was drunk and got injured for 2 months by getting beat up at the club.
Brilliant. That's got drug ban written all over it. A secret one.
What about, didn't you do this when he was at Aston Villa? I'm gonna.
It was Burnley.
Out.
It was Burnley.
That's absolutely crazy. He's one of the worst ever signings, I think, in the Premier League. Just because he's got no business being at Chelsea Football Club.
He got someone. And he was at Burnley.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm still going to be shameless to mention it. He still has more Premier League medals than Steven Gerrard.
Steven Gerrard, yeah.
And if we're going to,
but were they at Chelsea?
Leicester.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
But to be fair, he did play an integral part at Leicester.
He did. He
did in that season.
So it wasn't like he was a bit part player and won it.
And
yeah. No, that's true.
They had Robert. Was it Robert Huth?
Robert Huth and Wes Morgan.
Oh God,
Wes Morgan. Robert Huth was one of your players.
He used to take free kicks, didn't he? They had a
Robert Huth
rocket
used
of
to
a
be a
left
Chelsea
foot.
player, didn't he?
Yeah, back in the day.
But so where do you see sort of like Chelsea going from here now? Like let's assume you get a takeover of like I tell you what, let's say you get the Glazers 2.0 coming.
Oh God.
Yeah, well, I think you're getting American owners, to be honest.
Or you can get the Cronkies.
What'd you say, Nippon?
I don't think we are getting American owners.
Why?
I wouldn't put a Ben.
I think there's one.
One at a time, lads. Nippon, why?
Sorry.
Because I think we're more ambitious than that, and the government.
Yeah, but Nippon, it's not down to you. It's down to the government.
I think
that's the point. It's down to the government who they want. It's not down to you.
All right, Matt.
And that's where I come in with there is one party that I think almost ticks the boxes for all parties.
So are they Korean by any chance?
It's the Nick Candy / Korean.
Right, Nick Candy is a fuck. I wouldn't trust that man as far as I could throw him. Like that has got you won't know Michael Knightley is, but it's got Michael Knightley written all over it. He was a guy who did keepy uppies up at Old Trafford, claiming he was going to buy.
Can I just make a point as well with with the state of with Korea as well? That can always be a hot cooker that could go off.
But at the same time, South Korea is on the.
What are they going to do? Send an army of K-poppers in?
No. What I'm saying is they could always end up. They always end up at one point being threatened by North Korea at some point.
But at the same time, it's almost the Ukraine. So they were on the Ukraine side, effectively. They're on the side of the West. There is no controversy with South Korea.
Yeah, what?
And then also, what fits the government side is Nick Candy is currently a Tory donor.
That's true, actually. That is true.
That's why.
And he's married to Holly Valance.
That's why I feel like the government will happily accept that offer.
Yeah.
I think the government will accept the Saudis.
No,
you want the government to accept the Saudis, though, Nippon, don't you?
No, it took ages to get Newcastle through. And the problem is, Nippon, is that like we just mentioned earlier, I think earlier, with this whole ethical situation now with Abramovich, they won't want to repeat with the Saudis, with their links to with their links to massive beheadings and terrorist links as well. They wouldn't want to be the one saying that we sold the club to these owners and then having to redo this all over again if there's something that has to be sanctioned. That's why they're more likely to go with American owners, ones that they know they can 100% trust and know 100% trust that their country doesn't get involved in any sort of conflict or any ethical issue. It's the most likely, safest. It's like, what's the safest
Nah, I'm with Matt. Now I
What's the
found out
safest bet?
Candy's a Tory donor. I'm with Matt on this. I think you're getting
and also
them.
I think in terms of the actual property,
Yeah, the Saudis are the Saudis are the most vulnerable ones.
In terms of
for.
actually going in terms of the stadium as well. In terms of
he built the Shard, didn't he?
He's a property developer. Of course, he's going to want to build the stadium.
Win anything now, though, man.
What?
Let's down here, but we're not going to win anything now, Matt.
What do you mean?
You will.
Nick Candy.
You don't know yet. You don't even know. You don't even know yet what he wants to do. Yeah, but
you
hang
don't
on
need
a minute.
Saudis to win the fucking league.
Yeah,
you don't.
Yeah.
Hang on. Look
Yeah,
how.
yeah, you do.
Hang
you
on.
don't.
No, you don't.
You don't.
No,
You
look
don't.
at. No, you don't. Look at FSG
Leicester.
for God's
You need
sake.
ties.
Yeah,
I argue we won't win it
look
in the
at
way
how
we
Leicester won. If Leicester, if the ties are looking after their cut, no, hang on. Hang on a minute, Nippon. If the ties are looking after Leicester the way they do, what makes you think that these Korean owners can't do the same? I think they'll do the same thing, right? They'll look after the club, right? You don't need Saudis in the end. In the end, like, to be honest, FSG, as much as Liverpool doesn't like them as well, they're still competing with Man City, and they're still running in a very sustainable way, right? So, and they're stopping it, making it a farmers' league compared to everyone else. So you don't need Saudi to win the league.
Yeah, it will just be a change in the way we run the club.
And in the end, you'll say that, and then what's happened is Liverpool go and win the league this season.
And mate, if Saudis bought Manchester United, I'd stop going. I don't want any more of these oppressive, bigoted, racist, homophobic, genocidal, capricious, despotic wankers in our game.
That will love to finance terrorism.
Okay, Nick Candy
allegedly.
is
Sorry?
Nick Candy's a racist.
How is he?
Is he?
Be very careful when you say that. It's very easy
No. Let him say why.
Don't Tories have a history of racism, though?
But that doesn't mean Nick Candy's a racist.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that.
Ah, so he is okay. So there's right. This is just a Nippon thing.
Yeah. I mean, the only buyers that have been confirmed as racist are the Ricketts family. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately.
Are they the American LA Dodgers or something?
They're the ones that kind of said that all Muslim are scum or something like that.
Yeah.
So obviously, for obvious reasons, I assume they will not be.
Be accepted. When you say things like that, you have to have evidence.
Yeah, he knows, but
and it's one of those like.
If you're gonna say it, say allegedly as well, because that.
Yeah, allegedly, like it's very easy to like
be sued for that sort
brandish everyone with the same brush, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I did call them racist.
You have to be individual, like
Sunny and Shiite, mate.
You have to make sure that like it's individual. You're not just doing it just like one person's done that, so they're all like that. If you know what I mean.
Yes. But Nippert, are you not slightly worried when you look at Newcastle and see 81 like dissidents being beheaded and think, does that represent Chelsea Football Club? Even with your managerial turnover?
That the aim of elite sport is to win stuff. No, I'm not taking him off the channel.
The Saudi government is racist.
Yes.
Like, and it's to Sunnis and to Shiites, like, and it's to the people working there. I've lived in the Middle East, mate. I know what it's like. Right. So, Nippon, you would be happy with like a sort of despotic regime of human rights abusers taking over the great football club that is Chelsea.
It's the human rights issue for me. That's what gets me.
Yeah, but it's Nippon's club. Let him answer. Let him answer.
Look, honestly, the aim of elite sport is to win stuff at the end of the day. And you do not become a millionaire or successful for that matter without being a crook.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's
but
different between being a crook
you
and
can become
murdering
a billion.
people.
Yeah, but you can become a billionaire without causing murdering people and
How about
restricting human rights.
all 3 American owners of the 3 major Premier League teams funding Bush and Obama to fund all those wars happening
Those are
in
different political parties.
I mean, actually, I think it's only Liverpool owners that have had an actual link to funding the Iraq War.
I'm pretty sure the Glazers will have given money to the government.
Still, you're involved in war.
No, but that's
Yeah, but none of them have chopped up a journalist. Have ordered a journalist to be chopped up.
To be fair, the Iraq War was pretty much a scandal.
Yeah.
The other ones I can understand your point. The Iraq War with Tony Blair and Bush, that was.
Can I just
allegedly.
I want to make a quick point with that, and I don't really want to get into too much of a political game here, but
of course, yeah.
With the whole Iraq War, the guy in charge of Iraq needed to be removed. To be honest.
Yes, but there was not really a proper reason of going in there in the first place. I mean, the whole idea of weapons of mass destruction.
I do. Yeah, I get there was no.
Well, there was. It was because we wanted to control the oil. It was just that it was predicated on a lie.
The only thing I will say is that yes, there was no what we were looking for wasn't there apart from the oil, right? But what I will say is that the guy that was in charge needed to go. He needed to go in that instance because he was threatening the Western world.
I don't think anyone disagrees with that, Stephen. But what I am interested in is, Matt, what is your take on having dodgy owners, as it were?
No. I think it's for me. I mean, obviously, if whoever comes into Chelsea, it's obviously once they come in, I can't obviously do anything to stop it. I would personally not want Saudi owners. I've been quite clear on this. Partially because I'm not only a Chelsea men's supporter, I am a Chelsea women's supporter. I watch the Chelsea women's game, and I categorically know that if the Saudis come in, at least a couple of our players would more likely want to leave the club. I mean, we've had our captain, Magdalena Eriksson. She's said that should the Women's World Cup have been in Qatar, like the men's was, she would refuse to play for her country because it's out of principle.
Yeah.
Because obviously she is homosexual, along with one of our players, Fanil Harder. So I would fully expect if Saudis come in, they would likely want to leave the club, which I would stand by because I think it's a principal fact.
Of course.
I'd be seriously concerned in the development of our women's side, who, let's be honest, have absolutely changed women's football and have created a complete legacy within the game. And I don't want that to stop. So that's why I would prefer to move away from Saudi owners. I do think the problem is with this whole sanctions. And again, I agree with the sanctions, but you can't open Pandora's box and then just close it a little bit, only open it a little bit and then shut it. The problem is now you've opened it. You've got to look at the
100%. Get Man City out. Get them out of our game. They don't represent our community values.
And even then, you could look at Wolves. The Wolves owner is linked to the CCP. I mean, we could be here all night if we list in all the stuff that is going on.
Yeah, get them out. So get them all out.
Hang on. Can I just make a point?
Yeah, go on.
Is Usmanov, for example, who was going to buy Arsenal at one point off the Funkies, but it didn't succeed. Right? And probably it turns out was the best in disguise. He's control of. He's got a. I swear he part owns.
He's minority share.
There's also Russian owners in. Yeah, there's also Russian owners in Bournemouth as well. Is there any news about them? And they getting any sanctions as well?
I think the Bournemouth owner has been categorically cleared of not being linked to Putin at all. So I think that's a kind of separate.
You do all of it.
But I think that's in terms of no. I'm not saying it's right at all, but I think the government have investigated and deems that owner has not have any links to Putin, has not funded anything to the war, so then he's not in the category of getting sanctions legally. Usmanov, I don't know. I don't know why why Everton haven't had. I know that he's not fully the owner of Everton, but he has a minority share. He has a fairly big chunk of Everton. It's not majority, but it is a fairly big chunk. So why isn't Everton not under any financial
It's making an example, isn't it?
Exactly.
You know what it is? It's making an example to the British public to say, look, we're doing something about the crisis.
It's not to the British public. It's to the world. Like, I mean, they're
they're making us. But what I'm basically saying is they're making it look like they're doing something to address the issue.
They are doing something. They're crippling
because they don't want. Yeah, they don't want. Yeah, they are. They're crippling the economy of Russia, and it's to be honest, without starting World War III, it's the only way you're going to try and stop the war. Like, is by crippling the economy. If they've got no economy, they ain't going to be able to fight. I would suspect
that their plan is to sort of put the frighteners on the oligarchs, and the oligarchs to lend their wealth and support to a coup in Russia.
But also, yeah, that's what I'm saying is that if you starve them of their economy, you starve the military of their resources, which means they turn against each other, like, because they don't put up with this, especially in a war that doesn't make any sense, which is what happened when they started the First World War, and also what happened in the First World War is that because they had no economy, the people couldn't get their basic needs to look after themselves, and because of that, they all ended up in the revolution, and that's why you end up with the.
Well, as much as I'd love to chat about Franz Ferdinand, I think it's bedtime for myself. I'm wrapping up too.
Guys, I wanted to clear this up. This guy's accusing you of being a racist.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not, but like, what do you want me to say? The Saudi government is racist, is what I said. I'll stand by that. They like a lot of sort of Middle Eastern regimes. The Sunnis and the Shiites persecute each other. Like they are a disgusting. They're a disgusting group of human rights abusing tossers. I'm not saying that all Saudis are. I'm saying that their government and the people in power are. I don't think it's a particularly controversial point of view, and I'm not really bothered by like an anime profile calling me racist. So that's my view on it.
Right. I just make a point as well is that they were making a protest that
before I wrap up.
I'll just make a point as well. When you go to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix will be next on the calendar, you'll see a lot of the drivers protesting against human rights.
Well, for human rights, I would imagine.
Well, for human rights. Sorry, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Sorry, I got that mixed up.
Yes, Nippon, what would you like to say?
So yeah, anything we have? Anything you want to add before we wrap up?
No, thank you very much for having me on. It's been a real pleasure to meet you, Matt. Thank you for answering my questions, and as always, it's been fun, Stephen, hearing about your views on the First World War.
And where can people?
Mate, Vaughan, you know it's always good. It's always good having. There's always good having you on, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for well,
nice
to
meet
meet you for once.
Before wrapping up, where can everyone find you? And Daniel also says the key factor in all of this is that money talks.
And he's correct.
He's definitely correct.
I think I'm going to be optimistic and say the Saudis are going to bid the highest amount, and they'll be on your.
For God's sake,
Just leave it. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night talking about it.
Anyway, yeah. So, Vaughan, where can they find you?
Like in the chat section. Like, I'm not really interested in plugging any of my socials.
Fair enough. Matt, where can people find you?
You can find my name at MattJBall98 on Twitter. I mean, most of the comment section is from Worldwide Chelsea stream anyway, so I'm sure they all know me by now. So big up to most of you guys in the chat who have stayed for this 2 hour and 54 minute stream.
Definitely helps with the watch hours, man.
And finally, Steve, where can they find you?
In my history books. No, you can find me on SVT TV, doing the Arsenal and football content we always do. And we're doing also the Grand Prix tomorrow, the first round of the season at Bahrain, of all places. Make sure you tune in for that. That's going to be fun because it's topsy-turvy grid. And yeah, we don't know who's going to win. So yeah, that'll be on the, but that won't be on SVT TV. That'll be on the F1 channel that we've got, which is SVT F1, which we're trying to get to 100 subscribers since the start of February when it started. So if we can get that to 100, that'd be really appreciated. But it's always been fun having being on Nippon. And Matt, like, nice to meet you. And you would, like, if you ever want to come on to talk football, you're more than welcome to come on and speak to you anytime.
Yeah, big up. I'll definitely get you. I'll definitely come on to yours, and I'll also extend the invite to you to come on to my podcast one day, especially for the Arsenal games, to chat and have some banter about Arsenal.
Yeah, man, definitely, mate. I'll follow you on Twitter now.
Perfect.
And finally, you can find me on all my socials on this in the little ticker section, news style ticker below. And yeah, my goal is to get monetized and have 1,000 subs by the end of the year. So the more streams I do, the better it is. And yeah, with that being said, social media is in that ticker below. Please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications if you haven't already. You can also find me on Worldwide Chelsea on his streams before and after every match, and whenever there's news shown up, I'm always there, whether I'm at home, in the car, on the train, or
just be careful when you're doing it in the car, man.
You can also find me on Steven's channel from time to time during a watch along, and you can also find me on the fan cams outside Stamford Bridge for Chelsea Fan TV. And yeah, absolutely, Daniel. And speaking of daily streams, I will be back tomorrow. Well, later today actually, because it's 12:40 in the morning. I'll be back later today at 9 p.m. For the weekly podcast. Steve should be there. Matt, if you want to join, just I'll drop you the link. Vaughan, would you like? You're more than welcome to come on, and yeah, I'll be having a debutant tomorrow, later today as well. His name is Cameron he's an Arsenal fan. He's from Sarcasm City. If Steve, you know who he is.
Cam, who's that?
Cam's. He wears a snapback.
Is it Cam?
Cam, yeah.
Okay. I'll talk to you off air about that.
Yikes.
Okay. So yeah, with that being said, this has been NS Sports TV, and this is Nipun Sharma signing off. Take care of yourselves. Peace. And I shall see you all in the next video.